Who's your favorite Marvel superhero, Justin?
Spider-Man.
Oh, you're wrong. Spider-Man sucks.
What a fucking
Scarlet
ass.
Spider is so much cooler. This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 29 for the week of July 30th, 2018. I am one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Christopher Rodriguez.
Hello.
And Justin T. Lopez.
Hello.
Justin, you will never not be Justin T. Lopez. I just realized that the other day. Like, I just always include the T in her name.
Unless he changes his name to like
Justin
Patrick
P. Lopez.
or Zatanna. So
Justin Z. Lopez.
Nice.
Lopez.
or Zebra.
Or, shit, I was going to say xylophone.
Zondor.
It's not a Z.
Zondor. Zoltan.
Well, technically, any word.
Zod.
Justin. Oh yeah, it does start with a Z.
Any word can
like,
start with any letter if you just change the spelling. You could be Justin Xylophone.
You could
with a Z.
You could be Justin Zol Lopez, but ZXOL.
I could be whatever I
Or
want.
My middle name
Z
is Patrick.
apostrophe
The S at the beginning is silent.
Z apostrophe XOL. So it's Zol.
Zol.
No, not three, just two.
My
Zol.
middle name
Zol.
is Xylophone. It's spelled like Thomas, but it's pronounced xylophone.
It's like Thomas, but with a Z.
How's
and an ilophone.
Right.
and an iPhone? How's everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
You know something that's really annoying? I'm just gonna put this out there.
I know a lot
Tell
of
us
things
what
that are
grinds
annoying.
your gears.
So, I have two people at my work that were hired around the same time. Their names are Devin and David, and I see both of them in
Two guys.
two guys. And I see them infrequently enough that I constantly get their names swapped up because I think they were hired at like the same exact
Do they
time.
look the same?
No, not really, but kind of.
Shame on you.
But so here's my thing. If I were Justin, if you met someone and one day, just randomly, they called you the wrong name, but they didn't know you that well. Mm-hmm. When would you correct it right away, or would you wait to get mad about it until like the 15th time that they called you by that name?
I would just let it go.
I would.
There would never come a point where I would correct them.
I would correct him to to another wrong name, like way off weird name.
My name is actually Xylophone with a
Right.
silent D at the beginning.
I would
My
hope
name's actually Matumbe.
I would hope that somebody would use my name and he would like learn. But like I dated a girl who
Okay.
her grandpa thought that my name was Jordan.
Maybe your name is
And
Jordan.
I just never corrected him.
Maybe
ever.
your name is Jordan, and that
he's the only
guy
one that
actually
knows.
talked your parents into renaming you Justin when you were like 15.
So far we have the say your name is Matumbo and fuck with the person. We have the
Just let it go forever.
say nothing and let it go forever, which I've done before. My old boss, he comes to the draft house every now and again, and he calls me Sean, and I'm more just like I feel. I don't
So
look
that's
like
not even close.
Yeah. But I feel like happy that he thinks he remembers my name, like that, like so I don't correct him because I'm just
Right.
like fine, I'll be Sean, whatever. But I think the third approach is to correct the person the first time politely and say, hey, actually, my name is X and not Y. I think the wrong approach 100% of the time is to let that person call you that name 100 times and then get mad on the 100th time, which is what happened to me yesterday. I was walking out and this kid snapped at me. He's like, my name is X, not Y. And I was like, dude, I've been calling you the wrong name all day. Why are you
Wait,
just
so he's
telling
the
me
main
now?
character from the 2 gens ago Pokemon games?
Yep, he is
Oh
X.
my god.
Yep. Yes.
Mr. X.
Anyways, I just wanted to put that
He
out
snapped at you?
there. Yeah, he got like mad at me and I'm like, dude,
Did you
I'm sorry that I
did
called you the
bitch
wrong
slap
name.
him?
No, what I told
Did
him
you kick him in the
was,
balls?
I told him, you are probably going to leave here within a week or two, so the fact that I don't know your name is not that important.
Boom!
Broasted.
I hate that shit. It makes me so
Roasted?
mad. It makes me so mad because we have like we go through like hundreds of staff members
Excuse me?
every year,
Yeah.
and just correct me the first time, and I'll be fun. I'll be like, yeah, man, but don't get mad at me after the 100th time.
I just don't learn people's names. Yes, I said broasted.
Did you say broasted? You were all, excuse me? Broasted. Did you say broasted? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What?
That's my trick to getting out of anything. Is like,
Huh? No. What? No.
Anyways, if you guys haven't listened to us before, we are a podcast about video games. We record weekly, and we are usually up on Fridays. We start this show with the same segment every week, and going to talk about what we've been playing. But I'm going to start this week because Chris and I have a game in common that he's going to want to talk about. But rather than wait for him to talk about it and then talk about his other game, I'm just going to start and we can knock this out of the way. So yeah, I played a Destiny 2 Solstice of Heroes event. It's pretty cool. It does like a couple of Redux missions, so it revamps the.
Everett,
Is
close
Everett
the
okay?
other
Is
door.
he struggling? Are you good, Everett? You got this figured out?
I'm not on the podcast.
Well, it's hard because Chris is sitting there watching you, and you can just see like in
Well,
2 seconds. he's
it's
gonna ask you
impossible to
repeat
close
everything.
that door anymore. Impossible. Because it's held by the magnet and the door has it. So you can't push the door back far enough to lift up the thing anymore. So that door is permanently open unless we unscrew the door stop.
It's the stopper and the stone.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
Top
can't
end,
close a door, is it still a door?
Oh my God.
All right,
I take care of it.
save that for our philosophy podcast. Twin Sophocles.
Pretty sure you don't know how to say that
Radio.
guy's name.
How do you say it?
Sophocles?
Sophocles.
No, it's not Sophocles. That's how you said it.
How do you say it?
Socrates?
No. There's a Sophocles too.
You said it like 3 different ways.
It's what the guy in Pokemon is named after.
Twin soft keys.
And the Alola Sun and Moon stuff.
I thought his name was Professor Birch.
No. The little fat kid with the fat Pikachu.
Oh, I didn't get that far. Sorry.
so you okay? So
Oh yeah,
you're
so I'm playing
it?
Solstice of Heroes. Solstice of Heroes. God, I can't even say that word. Yeah, I think it's a good temporary event. I would hate for this to be the direction that they go forward with all of their stuff because it is very grindy.
Is that different than anything else they do?
It is
Yeah,
different.
It's very different.
Because it's so you have 5 sets of gear, and each gear has like 3 objectives that you need to complete.
5 pieces of gear.
What did I say?
Sets.
Oh yeah, 5
5
pieces of gear. That's what I meant to say. They each have 3 objectives on them that you need to complete in order to upgrade the gear. But in order to upgrade a single piece of gear, you have to have everything done for the entire set, and you have to upgrade the set altogether. So, say you complete the objectives on your helmet super, super fast, but you're still waiting to complete the objectives on your boots. You can't start working on the next level of helmet until you finish the boots, which I think is a problem personally, but it's
kinda lame.
Whatever. But it's fine because so far, at least with the green set of gear, I haven't seen the blue objectives at all, and I don't want to see them because I don't want to be discouraged about it. With the blue set, there's really only one that I find super annoying. And they're all obtainable. It's just a matter of how much time do you want to put in. And one of them is you have to make 30 super kills, which for the life of me...
In Crucible.
In Crucible.
Okay.
So
Which makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
for the life of me, I don't understand why they have make 10 kills. You have to make 10 kills in Crucible, just kill 10 Guardians, and get 30 super kills. I don't understand why they didn't swap those. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's really the only annoying one. I have 10 of my super kills down, and that happened in one night. So it's just a matter of sitting down and knocking the rest out, which I'll probably work on tonight or tomorrow. We'll see though. But yeah, it's fun. It's fine. It's not perfect, but when is anything in Destiny ever perfect?
Never.
Yep.
How long is this event going on?
Full
Until
month.
September,
A month.
It's August 31st.
August 31st. I was
Almost a full month.
Is that enough time to do all of this stuff?
I mean,
feasibly
Yeah, I
so
think
far it
so.
looks like it. Like so in the
So yes,
for casual players, not necessarily no life.
maybe not, but you've already got streamers that have masterworked an entire set of armor in 11 hours, but they have 11 hours to play Destiny. So
It's fair.
one of the nice things they did though that I really appreciated, they have the triumphs. So the triumphs are essentially you knock out these different sets of tasks, and then you get rewards for the season, and it reflects like what you've done that season. One of the tasks was to get to rank 5 in Crucible. That's how it was when it launched on July 7th. Well, they changed it to only 3 ranks in Crucible.
4 ranks.
3.
Is it really only 3?
It's 3. You already have it.
I know, but I'm at
it's
rank
3.
4. Oh, okay.
So the good thing about, I think, the shit with armor so far is that it kind of matches up with things that you have to do naturally anyways. Like, I have to play enough Crucible. I just have to make sure that I'm getting super kills while I'm doing it. It's not perfect, though. Like, really, I don't know who thought 30 super kills was a good idea. But, it is what it is.
Mayhem's next week, so it'll be really easy to get. However, that's at least in my eyes, that's where the problem lies, is that Bungie's once again artificially extending the grind, because instead of always progressing towards something, you're not. So if you get your chest, your boots, and your bond all done, and you're waiting to do your helmet, guess what's not progressing? The other three things. I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Or not stuck, but now I'm not progressing in any way, shape, or form in those three things. Or, simple solution is just let us upgrade each piece of armor as we finish it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong.
That's a weird choice.
There's
Like, why
nothing
would
wrong
you-
with stacking. Like, okay, so if I get my boots done and now I need 50 super kills in the Crucible on my boots, I don't know if that's a thing, but I can start working on that while I'm working on the 30 kills on my green helmet. There's legitimately nothing wrong with that. However, they've extended the grind because this thing needs to last an entire month. And for casuals who are playing Destiny, I did this by pointing at me and Trey, whoever was listening in that awkward silence. We have a month to do it, and I think a month is. I think we can do it in a full set of your main character. I think a month's enough time to do it. I think, but you have to finish the prestige raid layers, or you have to finish one of the prestige raid layers. You have to finish a bunch of things where you need 6 people, and unfortunately, we don't have 6 people to play with. So you have to get lucky in LFG or schedule a time to do that, which is really hard because, everybody works. We're all adults. We don't have 11 hours to play Destiny every day.
Do you have to be wearing these pieces of armor in order
you
to?
do have to be wearing the pieces of armor to progress it,
Yeah,
which drops your light level down
Yeah.
to 277 on the greens.
Yeah,
From 385 to 277.
that's rough.
It's not super, super terrible, but you can feel it. It's like, holy shit.
That's the thing about it. Like, it's not something that I don't love it. I don't love the way that you have to grind on stuff in the gear, but I don't hate it either. Like,
Sure.
I'm just kind of ambivalent towards it. And Chris and I talked about it the other night. Like, if I didn't, Destiny has my attention at least until probably December or January. Like, I'll be playing it regularly after Forsaken comes out. So for me, like, I think Forsaken's going to be great. I think it's going to be another Taken King. I think it's going to, create a revolution in Destiny and all that. But I'm also willing to have another game kind of take Destiny's spot from me and push Destiny kind of to the background for a little while. But I just have a feeling that I'm still going to be in love with Destiny after this. So I just want to have like the different markers that I was there in year one. Because that's what sucks about year one of actual Destiny, of the first game. That was an awful time to be a Destiny fan. It fucking sucked. And the only thing you have to show for that is an emblem. There's nothing else. Like, even after Destiny 1, like after Taken King came out, there was nothing else to signify that, hey, I was there and I did all this shit and I put up with the fucking bullshit of year one. I put up with Bungie's bullshit in year one of Destiny. And I kind of want to be there on the other side of it when everyone's like, oh, Destiny 2 is the greatest game in the world. I fucking love it. And it's the best. I want to be like the person that's
What
like,
timeline
hey,
did you just slip into?
I was there. I was there when you guys didn't feel this way. And this armor is my proof.
They should give you an emote where it's like you're taking a poop, so you can just shit on everybody.
Oh yeah, it's like a little like growing neon poop.
Yeah. I hate the way the armor looks. I think it looks fucking terrible, especially since my main's a warlock. He looks like he's wearing a bathrobe, like legitimately wearing a bathrobe with a rope around him.
Does the armor change as you progress? Does
Yeah,
it
it
change?
changes.
Yeah,
appearance
yeah,
and
like
different-
the green armor looks better than the masterworked armor. My personal opinion.
Huh.
And I just think it looks terrible. And that's that like where Trey's at. Sure, it'd be cool to have the armor, but like I'm not gonna work my ass off and take time away from other things that I would rather be doing just to get this armor that I really don't like the way it looks. And that doesn't bother me. There are other things that are part of Solstice of Heroes that I would like to get. I would like to finish my triumphs for sure. And I would like to do all the little secret quests that are starting to pop up all over the place, like Cade's quests, any sort of exotic stuff that pop up. I want to do those, but I don't give a flying shit about that armor because it just looks absolutely
You have
terrible.
to complete the armor to complete your triumphs.
Well, I don't, like I said, I've already said this multiple times. I don't give a flying shit about completing the triumphs. It just gives me something to do. But I do want to do like Cade's quest, anything story based stuff I want to do. But that armor's god awful looking. Absolutely terrible looking armor.
I love the hunter armor. Justin, what are you playing?
I've been playing around on my Switch.
Nobody asked me what I was playing.
You're
It's not your
next.
turn yet.
Oh, I'm next. Oh,
We
sorry.
take turns.
We weren't just gonna end the segment without you.
Yeah,
Chris.
moving on. News. Just playing on my Switch. Mario Kart. That's about it. Haven't had much time to play games.
About as good as the other one, the run that preceded it.
played it.
Because
We
it's
all
the
played it.
same
we played
game.
it. But
I said it's about as good as the one that preceded it because it's the same game.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yep. It's a great game.
It's fun.
I never liked Mario Kart by myself.
No.
I can't just sit there and play Mario Kart by myself.
No, I play with Bree.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's something I actually like about the Switch. Like just immediately out of the box, I have
Play
two controllers.
players. Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's something small, but coming from like Xbox, like it's
Why don't you do like Zelda or anything like that? It's a good game.
it's on the list. It's
Okay.
like I think I'll get Mario Odyssey before I would get Zelda, but that's just me.
We pre-ordered the Pokeball. At
Yeah,
Seguin.
I still need it.
We pre-ordered it the other day
I
because
still
I
need to
just
get
know.
it.
I mean, it's a Pokeball. It's gonna be like the fucking what was the Pokesnap?
yeah.
Not Pokesnap. What was the thing called for Pokemon Go? The little pedometer.
Plus.
What
Pokemon Go
Go
Plus.
Plus. Yeah, they're just gonna be hard as hell to find them for a few months before December.
Yeah,
And so
I need to
pre-ordered
pre-order
it.
that, and I need to pre-order.
I do because we asked Jimmy. The one in Seguin tray already has 50 pre-ordered.
Yeah, I just kind of have a feeling though with Nintendo. I
It's-
know. I feel like because it's Pokemon specifically, it's not going to be hard to find.
I don't know.
It's Nintendo. It's Nintendo and its Pokemon. It's gonna be hard as hell to find.
And I'm gonna pre-order my PS4 today too.
Ooh, look at you.
So
Hello, my name's Justin. Look at all the money I have.
exactly, that's literally what I wake up and say every morning.
That's an ugly PS4. I know.
I like it.
I know that is an unpopular opinion, but dear God, that red is like, oh, it looks like the red of that exit sign, and it's disgusting.
It's bright.
Yeah, it's real bright.
I like it, and it's a PS4 Pro.
I think if they would have, like not made it just red, but like gave it a little bit of blue in it too, it would have been 1,000 times better.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It could look better.
Sure,
but
it's like the God of War PS4. Like, sure, I guess it looks okay, but if you would have just put a little bit more design effort into this thing, that thing could have been amazing looking.
true.
Or
some
steps up
gold,
from like the previous.
No, I don't know, dude. That Destiny PS4 is gorgeous.
I think the Destiny PS4 is the it is the one exception.
like
to
the
that.
Pinnacle.
Like pretty much everyone after, like before and after that one,
Sure.
they're just fucking awful.
Oh, there was one that came out in Japan for Final Fantasy 15 that was pretty awesome looking too. But that's Japan. It's not America, so it doesn't really count.
Are you
Yeah.
are you still getting the Kingdom Hearts
Yeah. Oh yeah.
PS4?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
y'all ordered it yet or
No, because it's not pre-orderable yet.
Oh no.
Nope. We've checked multiple times. I have Jimmy on speed dial. He's ready to freaking call me whenever it's up. So, which by the way, good luck to my friend Jimmy who got a full sponsorship through GameStop to compete in Evo this year.
Wow.
He'll be competing on Saturday morning.
Cool.
Yeah. Best wishes to Jimmy. Chris,
Hopefully,
what are you
yeah,
playing?
he's good. He's really good at Street Fighter too. Huh?
What are you playing, Chris?
Destiny and to be 100% honest with you, I never planned on playing Destiny at all this week. I didn't, like I said last week, I didn't plan on getting into Destiny until the update before Forsaken, the one that adds all the changes, the weapon changes. I didn't plan on getting on till that. But Daniel had texted me. He's like, "Hey, you get it on?" It's like, "Yeah." But World of Warcraft. I've been playing the shit out of WoW. Got to get exalted on the Nightborn. Which
God,
is,
that is a sentence that I just didn't understand at all.
yeah. So like every faction, there's like shit tons of factions in WoW. It's not just it is Horde and Alliance, but then you have like
guilds.
yeah, not sort of like guilds, but they're like
there's guilds,
they're
but-
like in game. They're like in game factions.
I meant
It's
like the guilds in like Skyrim. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yes,
saying that.
yes, kind of like that. So I mean, to unlock the races for Battle for Azeroth, you have to be exalted in specific factions in the game. And I want Nightborn, so I'm just working on getting exalted in the Night Fallen.
That's just building reputation, right?
Yeah,
like
that's all
you have
it
to
is.
just do
Yeah,
missions
just
for them.
you just go in and do the dailies, and you get about 2,000 rep every day, and it's gonna take I just hit revered, so it's going to take 21,000 to get to that. So 10 to 12 days, just logging in for 30 minutes and just get all your dailies done. 30 minutes to an hour.
That's not bad. You still playing by yourself?
Yeah, because none of you are playing. Oh yeah, let's all play. Wow, it's going to be tons of fun, everybody. Nope, just Chris alone. Whitney started playing though, which is awesome. So Whitney and I are loving the new characters together.
Does she ever? Does she have her own PC?
Yeah, she has a little laptop. It's WoW. Like WoW could run on your fucking phone if they really wanted to try it.
I guess. I just whenever I think of WoW, I think of like like, how long has WoW been out? 13 years?
11, 13 years, somewhere in there.
So, like, I think about whenever it first came out.
Sure.
And, like, you had to have, like, a high-powered PC
Oh,
to,
yeah.
like,
No,
run WoW.
it literally, like, some zones still look like WoW did back in 2011 or 2009. But, you know, there's updated graphics. But, yeah, I mean, it's WoW. It runs on potatoes. That's the best part about it. And it's not even on the lowest setting for Woody's computer. So it runs just fine. So, yeah, I'm not playing by myself per se, but higher level content. I just randomly queue in dungeons and raids and stuff like that because you can, and just jump in. And you know, usually it's really nice as a raid finder when you go to queue for the raid finder or dungeon finder. There's a little check mark box that says I'm experienced and I'm comfortable telling players how to do this. So if you don't check that, you get put in. There's always a guy in there like, okay, next boss is dead. Like there's a guy that's always friendly.
It was like putting the wiki in the chat.
Yeah, pretty much, kind of like his own little wiki in the chat saying this is what you need to do, blah 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 blah. And everybody's super cool. Like you know, I haven't run into any toxicity just yet, but I'm sure I'm going to at some point in time. But yeah, no, I'm. It's just me by myself because you guys, just me.
You guys ready to do
Alone.
the news?
Always alone. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. We're all gonna play WoW together, and it's gonna be tons of fun.
I did not say that.
Hard
Just
cut to Chris
just
playing by himself.
Yep.
Yeah. For
Tears.
the record, I said I might jump in, and then I realized how close Forsaken was, and I was like, I am not jumping in.
Just by myself.
Speaking of shared world shooters and MMOs, in their midsummer update, BioWare confirmed that they are working on Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and Star Wars The Old Republic is still going strong alongside Anthem.
Oh,
Quote, our Star Wars The Old Republic team is hard at work on some amazing plans for the coming year, with new features and surprises that I think makes it the game's most exciting year yet, end quote, wrote Hudson. Quote again, and yes, we hear loud and clear the interest in BioWare doing more Dragon Age and Mass Effect, so rest assured that we have some teams hidden away working on some secret stuff that I think you'll really like. We're just not ready to talk about any of it for a little while. It's pretty cool. I think the most exciting part about that is that they're still supporting Star Wars The Old Republic.
of course they are. It's number 4 on the MMO charts for most played MMO.
Really?
Number 4 still. Guess what's number 1? The game you guys aren't playing.
Elder
with
Scrolls
me.
Online.
Elder Scrolls, I think, is number 3.
Guild Wars.
Ooh, wow.
It's WoW, Guild Wars, SWTOR, and
EverQuest.
No, but EverQuest is back.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like I saw a video, I saw a advertisement on YouTube, and I'm kind of like I'm working and YouTube's going, and I'm starting to like out of the corner of my eye see this game was like, it looks like EverQuest, and it's all EverQuest play for free. It's like, when the fuck did that happen? When the hell did EverQuest come back? Whatever happened to EverQuest 2? Remember that?
But back on to BioWare. So we already knew they're working on Dragon Age. We're not going to see it for a while, obviously, but I think it's slightly heartwarming that they're working on Mass Effect because it didn't sound like they were going to do that for a little while.
I was gonna say we didn't know about that, right?
Yeah, we did. Like 2 weeks ago, they said they're working on a new Mass Effect.
But I actually didn't know that before today. To be fair, I didn't see that 2 weeks ago. But I did see, like, you know, last year when after Andromeda, where they're like, we're never making another Mass Effect.
Like
Yeah,
two,
that's what I was thinking
Like
of.
2 weeks ago, they said Mass Effect's not going anywhere. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Which is literally video game developer talk saying, yes, we're making a new Mass Effect.
Plus, it's Casey Hudson. He created that IP, and he loves it. And there's no way you're going to bring Casey Hudson back and not fucking work on Mass Effect.
I'm just glad they didn't take it's probably a ways away, but
So I don't. Think
I'm glad
they
they're
ever-
talking about it now. Because with everything that happened with Andromeda, I thought they wouldn't touch Mass Effect for at least another year.
You mean the game that sold millions upon millions of copies?
The failure,
Well,
that one.
I think
The game that sold millions upon millions of copies? Just because it had bad reviews doesn't mean it's a failure.
I think that, like,
the what people consider a failure.
press and fan reactions around Anthem have been pretty mixed, and I think that part of that, and I can say from my own bias as a human being, I'm kind of guilty of this too, but I think some of that has to do with the fact that, like, by working on Anthem and putting this effort into Anthem, fans realize that they're not working on the IP that we want them to be working on. So I think that some people are coming out of the gate, like, already having a little bit of, like, doubt towards Anthem, right? Like,
I see what you
I
mean.
think that's kind of
It's
where
like-
some of my doubt comes from. Where
Like,
it's
I
like,
want them to work on Anthem.
yeah, but I would rather them. I'm fine with Anthem. I'd rather them be working on the things that, like the other IP that I really care about. I don't want to wait 10 years for another Dragon Age.
Well, I mean, Dragon Age has been in development for at least 3 years now. So
Shit, I don't even know anymore. Because it sounds like, Dragon, based off of that comment, Dragon Age is still pretty far out. But my whole point being, the thing that I was leading to was that, like, I think coming out and saying this, like, hey, we haven't forgotten about the IP that you care about. We're still working on Star Wars The Old Republic and Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I think it puts fans in goodwill so that they're more receptive to Anthem because they know that they're getting the shit that they want afterwards.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, where it's like you don't have to be so secretive about what you're working on. Yep. Just come out and say, yeah, like it's there, like we haven't forgot about it.
Don't show me a trailer. You don't have to tell me like gameplay details. Just tell me what you're working on. That's what I loved about Bethesda. People are like changing their mind on Bethesda's E3 press conference right now. It's like, I don't care that they didn't show me gameplay, and I don't care if we don't get Starside or whatever it's called for Starfield. There we go. I was looking at
video
Chris,
game
like,
journalism, everybody,
hey,
at its
shut up.
greatest.
I'm having a rough day with remembering shit. But I don't care if we don't see Starfield for another 3 or 4 years. Just confirm that you're working on it, man. Just tell me what you're doing. I don't need to see everything right away. But yeah, anything to add, Chris?
That's a video game. They're video games.
Cool. BioWare also went into detail about how players will have agency in Anthem. The game will feature a system called Our World, My Story. The Our World part will be a dynamic open-world experience in real time by all Anthem players. Day, night, weather, and world-scale events that shape the ongoing narrative of the setting. When you return to Fort Tarsis, that's where you will get the more traditional single-player experience, and it's where you'll spend your time developing relationships, making choices, and seeing consequences. That's the My Story part. The team will go into more detail during their panel at PAX Prime, which runs from August 31st to September 3rd in Seattle, Washington. That doesn't sound very BioWare-y to me. It sounds like you're kind of just affecting the main social space, hub, main city. I don't know, I don't know. I might be crazy, but I feel like in BioWare, your decisions affect the grander thing besides just the Normandy or...
Mm-hmm. Your decisions can't affect the grander thing in an MMO, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but...
We just can't.
I guess... of course, I understand that, but also, like, there are ways to... I'm sorry. I don't know if there are for sure ways to work around that, but... I think Guild Wars kind of does that, where it's not individual decisions, it's group decisions, right? Am I wrong?
Guild Wars has a story that plays out like ArenaNet wants it to play out. Your decisions in any MMO does not affect the world as a whole. Your decisions affect like a personal story.
Okay.
Like Star Wars: The Old Republic, your decisions affect
I just
that
thought
personal story.
I had just thought that there was some MMO where decisions that people were making as a group, so things that people were doing as a group, was affecting the greater world.
Not really.
I mean, I feel like there might be somewhere like it affects maybe like relationships with other characters in the world, but like how they react with you. But even then, that'll be like
shaping the world in general. No, I don't think you can do that. That means the players that didn't make decision B
would see something different.
It doesn't make a difference what they decided to do because they weren't the majority.
Yeah, I don't
it's just
know.
not fair for players.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but like
I don't think there is one there.
I think
don't play an MMO.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way for players to not realistically, but fairly and like affect an MMO world by their decisions.
Then I don't think you should include any decisions at all. That's kind of where I stand.
I agree.
On this. Like,
yeah, I 100% agree
if
with
BioWare can't figure out a smarter way to do this, because I think there is one. I legitimately think there is one. I think that people are just not afraid to break the mold with MMOs, and I think that goes across every genre. I don't think it's exclusive to MMOs, but I think when people start making games like this, they feel like, we talked about this before, they feel like they have to copy World of Warcraft or they have to copy Destiny. They have to follow that same formula. But my problem with BioWare is it's like, if you can't do this in the proper way, in the way that we expect it from BioWare, which they might, I might be 100% wrong and love it when it comes out. But if you can't do it in the proper way, then just don't do it at all.
Well, that's where the whole like your decisions as a player affect your Fort Tarsus. That is going to shape around you because nobody else can go to your Fort Tarsus. So that whole entire space that is not a social space, that is your space, that whole entire space, that's what's going to change, and that's what
No,
you're going to see different.
I understand that, but that doesn't.
That's where that comes in.
But
So
that's-
BioWare is doing a BioWare thing there, but you can't fairly include millions of players' decisions in shaping a world because people who didn't make that decision aren't going to be very happy with that. Unfortunately, it's a rock and a hard place, right? As a developer, you have to do your best to include everything. If it was a perfect world, I'd pull the trigger on Cade, but I can't. You know what I mean? I would make the decision to kill Cade if it were a perfect world. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So Bungie has to tell the story the way they see it.
I don't think that that's equivalent though, because in Destiny you don't. There is no player agency. You don't get to make choices.
It's very true.
You just play the fucking game,
Yep.
and if you don't like it, you don't like it. But with that's just not how BioWare games are. BioWare games are one of their pinnacles is storytelling, and that storytelling involves choices and player agency.
Sure, and I think they do a very good job, and I think they're going to do a fine job in Anthem too, just like they did in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Just like they did in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
But
It's just going to be different.
Yeah, Star Wars: The
it
Old
has to
Republic
be.
has a shit ton of player agency in your own personal stories.
Yeah.
Those things don't affect the world as a whole, but those that you have that player agency there. Is it as big as Dragon Age or Mass Effect or a single player game? Absolutely not. But again, you can't do that in an MMO. You just can't.
I don't think it'll affect the world as a whole, but it could definitely affect how your character how
Sure,
like,
and
you,
that's
like,
that's
experience
exactly
the
what
world.
they're saying. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
even more so than just like the fort itself. Like if there are like interactions outside of the base based on your decisions, people might treat you
Yeah,
differently.
from what I understand, there's not going to be interactions outside the base. When
No.
you go
Well,
outside the base, you're in your
it's
little
just-
exosuit and
Man,
you're just doing missions.
I just think that the way they handled it in Star Wars: The Old Republic is perfect because
yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
because you have the same amount of choices you have in any other
Mm-hmm.
BioWare game in your single player story. But that's it doesn't feel like that's what they're doing because you're not affecting the outside world.
But you don't affect the outside world in SWTOR
Yes,
either.
you
No,
literally, the
you
missions are
don't.
all about you making decisions in that story, and what decision you make affects the next part of that mission.
But it doesn't
Like,
affect.
all those
But it
decisions
doesn't
stack
affect
up.
the world.
It doesn't. It's not about the. It's not just about the world. It's about feeling like you're affecting the world.
Sure.
In Star Wars: The Old Republic, when you make a decision, you feel like you're affecting the world. In Anthem, I don't understand how affecting your base feels like you're having any agency outside of that. And so my whole point is just why include it at all? Why not just make Tarsus like the tower and just have it be there and do its
Yeah, I
thing?
mean, I kind of see it as the same thing. Maybe not on such a grander scale because you're not having 8 different characters to play through with a whole 20-hour story or anything
Of course
like that.
not, because now MMOs have to be like this fucking half-baked,
Sure.
stupid, small experience.
But
Like,
yeah, I
you
think-
can't bring a game like Star Wars: The Old Republic to consoles or put the time in anymore because that doesn't make money.
I think if the storytelling is good, I think having your base change with you will give you different reasons to go out into the world. Like if you're going back to the base and they're like, "Oh, can you go do this mission and go collect this or whatever?" Depending on like what like the decisions you made in the story you built up for yourself, going out might just feel different because you're going out for different reasons.
Yeah, I think
I think that could
it's
affect
definitely going.
how you see the world.
I think it's definitely going to be a thing. Like, say you queue up for a dungeon. I don't know what they're called in Anthem. Let's say you queue up for a dungeon and you go do this dungeon, and there's like a social type system in these dungeons where you're doing like the Old Republic type thing, and you make a decision. I make a decision Trey doesn't make. My base is going to be affected differently than Trey's is, even in that decision out in the world. I think they've already talked about this before. The only thing that really changes, and what you do in the world around you changes how Tarsus looks for you, because Tarsus isn't a social space. Tarsus is your very own little I always forget
World?
what the Inquisition thing is called. The
Skywatch.
Skyhold.
Skyhold.
Yeah, it's your own little Skyhold. So everything that you do in the game affects your Fort Tarsus. Just like in Dragon Age, decisions in the outside world sort of affected the world itself.
You literally choose a new emperor.
Sure, but I mean the shape of the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, and so like in an MMO, you can't just choose an emperor.
This is just my point, and I'm just gonna I mean, unless there, I don't know. This is just gonna be my last thing that I say about it. to me, it doesn't sound like any of that stuff. Based off of what they said, it just sounds like you are going to be making decisions in your social space, and that's where decisions are going to be kept to. And that's fine and well, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it and have a good time. But to me, that's not BioWare. I think that if anyone were to figure out how to include player agency in these kind of games, it's BioWare. And I think that the grander issue with this, and just the grander issue with games altogether, is that we're at a point where no one wants to take risks or experiment with anything anymore. No one wants to try to do something different. Everyone wants to try to do the same thing, and that's causing BioWare to have something that sounds to me like a half-baked idea. It doesn't sound like the kind of agency that you expect from a BioWare game. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing to see all these developers put their shit into battle royales and to try to make, these multiplayer-centric games. And it's sad to see single players go, and it's sad to see people not trying to make any cooperative, story experiences that are worthwhile and worth playing. Like, it's just that every year it seems like there's another developer that just falls in line with the stupid bullshit that's going on in the industry, and it doesn't leave room for anything else. Is it profitable? Yes, sure, fine. I get it. I get that's how you make money. But, the best games the games that are considered the best games are ones that took risks, games that didn't fall in line, and they were successes in their own rights. A lot of them are fucking successes monetarily. So to me, it's just disappointing that they're not exploring how to make this work, which means that we're not going to see this change in these kind of games anytime soon. And it also sucks for BioWare, especially because they already did it right with Star Wars: The Old Republic. They've already figured it out. But that's just my opinion.
As he pushes his glasses up on BioWare's Reddit subreddit.
Yeah. I typed that all out. Don't worry.
This BioWare.
I'm gonna post it later.
BioWare's not BioWare anymore.
I don't want to have the last word on it, but does anyone else have anything they want to
I
say?
think Anthem's gonna be just fine. It's BioWare. If I've ever put my trust in a video game company, it was BioWare. They've never steered me wrong, so I believe in them. Yeah. Same with Bethesda. I believe in Fallout 76 because they've never. I mean, sure, they're whatever, but they've never steered me wrong in any of those games. So I don't believe they're going to anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm withholding judgment until I get to see more of it. Basically, I want to see what these people who went in and played and were like, oh, the game was way different than what it seems
it's already out there.
But yeah, but I want to see it for myself. I want to get a hold of it.
And World of Warcraft's pre-Battle of Azeroth. For Azeroth? I think it's for Azeroth.
Battle for Azeroth.
Oops, I put the wrong thing. And World of Warcraft's pre-Battle for Azeroth, Battle of Thorns event, Blizzard has placed the Horde firmly on the side of evil, and fans aren't happy. Without going into spoilers, because I don't know if Chris has played it.
Man, I finished that a week ago. It was badass.
Many fans feel frustrated that they had no agency in their leader's decision. Of course, this is only the build-up to the latest expansion, coming Battle for Azeroth, coming August 14th. These actions are clearly on the bad side of the spectrum, but a lot can change over the course of the expansion. What, Ev?
It's another thing. It's just dumb. Just fucking go with it.
So is it dumb because players are mad about it?
It's dumb, dude, because they're telling a fucking awesome story. Have you played it yet? Do you care?
Not this expansion.
No, not the expansion. Have you played the? Oh yeah, you're not even on. You haven't even gotten on at all. Some
people might care.
It's so fucking. I don't care. It's so fucking cool because
if you care, skip forward.
Yeah, skip forward
minutes.
maybe 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
So, it's super fucking cool because when the Horde was formed, Thrall, which was an orc who formed the Horde. The only reason they were fighting with the Alliance is because they wanted freedom. They was kind of like America, right? We want to be out from underneath this tyranny. We want equality. That's what the Horde has always stood for. And then when Thrall was killed and Fulgen, I can't remember the troll's name. He took over. He stood for the same exact thing. Now in Legion, that troll dies. And a really prominent character named Sylvanas Windrunner is the leader has taken over the Horde, and she's evil as fuck. She was really cool at first. She was a high elf, was killed by the Lich King, became a Banshee, became the Banshee Queen, and she's just evil. So in this expansion, she does a very, very evil thing by burning Darnassus, which is the Night Elf homeland. So the Night Elves live in this mountain-sized tree.
Yeah.
And she burned it to the ground. The high elf home is gone. And that's pretty fucking evil. You basically just wiped out an entire race's, source of mana, everything. Darnassus is gone.
But in her timeline, the tree was cut down.
Sure, in her timeline. So that's the thing. In World of Warcraft, gets kind of weird. There's a timeline. There's a dragon break, I like to call them, because that's what Elder Scrolls does. The tree was cut down, so in her timeline, it doesn't actually exist. So in her mind, it not being there is fine. But this is a strikeout against the Alliance, and it's an evil thing. It's a super evil act that she did. But it's a super cool story.
I was reading apparently in the Horde side of the mission, because there's two sides of the mission.
Yeah.
One where you're essentially defending the tree, and one where you're attacking
And
the tree.
you get a mount, and it's a fucking badass mount.
But apparently on the Horde side, like, you can choose to kill civilians while you're doing the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of people were frustrated by that, because they're like, that's like, the Horde's not evil. Like, they wouldn't just run around. Like, there shouldn't be an option to kill civilians.
Exactly. Which is if you play the Alliance side, it's apparent. It's very apparent, because there's an orc that was always underneath Thrall and Vol'jin. Vol'jin, there's his name. Named Sura something, Surados or something like that. There's a point where Sylvanas Windrunner says, you need to kill Stormrage, Malfurion, the high elf druid. And he goes, I can't do it because it's not honorable. And he walks away. And it's like, there's your next horde leader right there. If Sylvanas is dead, the point of all of this is, you can get mad all you want. You really can. But they're telling a fucking awesome story. They really, really are. Like, so Final Fantasy VII, when Eris dies, it's like, did you get mad? Sure, you got mad at the character Sephiroth for doing it. You didn't get mad at Square Enix for killing Eris. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the same thing goes here. You don't get mad at Blizzard because they're telling a really fucking awesome story.
Right.
An absolutely amazing story. Sure, are you, as a Horde player, are you kind of like forced to do these evil things? Yeah, kind of, but just roll with it, because it really, really, really is a great story.
But even then, so you're saying, like, you have the option to kill civilians.
You have the option to. You don't have to.
Well,
you absolutely don't have to.
And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, so say this is real. Say you are under a like,
sign me the fuck up.
a evil ruler, basically, and they're commanding you to, like, go and attack this big
sure,
tree.
you can still.
You're going to follow your duties because you don't want to get punished,
right? But
you don't have to kill people.
But at the same time, Blizzard has looked forward and looked ahead enough, saying, "Well, we're going to give you the option to do the Sylvanas Windrunner really evil horde, or you can keep doing regular horde." This war was going to happen no matter what. It's always been the Horde versus the Alliance. Mm-hmm. This war was just, it just depends on what there needed to be a spark to light the fire, and Sylvanas was the spark. Mm-hmm. This is always going to happen. It's just
Ev, what are you losing your shit about?
Yeah, you really are.
I love Warcraft lore.
It's good. It's really fucking good.
So there were two. I had a one point that people were mad about too, from what I was reading. The next thing that people are mad about is that the Horde hasn't had a consistent leader, like, ever.
That's because they keep dying.
Yeah,
it's true.
That Blizzard keeps killing them.
Yeah, since the start of World of Warcraft, there was Thrall, then Vol'jin, now Sylvanas, and they were all different. And, all of them.
So defense against the dark arts curse.
So my thing coming out of this is, like, would I get mad about this? No, but I will say that from an outside looking in perspective, like, you know, I've never played World of Warcraft. Well, I played to like level 10. But my read on World of Warcraft has always been that, like, oh, the Alliance are the good guys and Horde are the bad guys. And then last week, me and Whitney went out and had dinner.
Yeah.
And you were sitting there and breaking it down for Whitney because she was about to start playing again. And you're like, well, no, it's great. Like, the Alliance are actually kind of dicks too. I mean, the Horde aren't perfect.
They can be, sure.
The Horde aren't perfect, but, you know, like, they're not necessarily bad guys. And I was like, you know what, that actually sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah, and
that sounds like the kind of, like, the shit that I like. Hearing this, I didn't get frustrated about it, but I was like, man, that's kind of less interesting now, though.
Yeah,
it kind of would have been more interesting, because I think in the history of World of Warcraft's existence, the Horde has done more brash things than the Alliance.
Yes.
It almost would have been more interesting to me if the Alliance had been the ones to go fuck shit up.
Well, see, now we're in this interesting thing, because, Rin dies in Legion. So his son Anduin takes over. And Anduin is like the ultimate pacifist. Like, this guy does not want war. He does not want to fight. So
it's
all
like pushing them even more on
so like
the
Alliance is like this really, like, it's kind of turning into this, like, really goody two-shoe thing. And then you have the a complete opposite side of the Horde, where Sylvanas is ready to just wipe all the Alliance off the face of the Earth, or the face of one of the planets. And it's really fucking cool. It's super fucking cool how this is all playing out, because it is, like I said, for 11 years, all that needed to happen was something to spark that fire, and it's happened because
You just get one hothead leader in there. And then,
yeah, get one hothead leader, and it's the fact that so in Legion, one of the Titans embeds his sword into the planet, and has basically roused the Titan that's been, or people think the Titan that's growing inside Azeroth has been kind of like
Awoken,
forced to awoken, because these weird new types of metal and really powerful magical rocks are starting to pop up all over the place, which is a telltale sign that something's about to happen. So the battle for Azeroth is people think it's the battle for that Titan. Whoever controls that Titan is in a really, really, really good spot.
Is the
and
Titan
I think Sylvanas,
automatically
no
good?
no
Bad?
no
Well,
there's
because what if the Titan is trying to like destroy Azeroth?
Yeah, so that's the
and then
thing,
It's
it's
like a
not-
combination of like Horde and Alliance.
Sure,
has
that's
to, like,
the thing.
come together.
Nobody really knows, but it's just a really good story. It's a great story, and it's kind of,
Well,
it's,
because wouldn't that make sense too? Because this expansion that's coming out now, it's not all about, but part of it is you can be, it's the mixing of races between like Hordes and Alliance and
sort
stuff.
of, yeah.
So like, wouldn't it kind of make sense if
Sure.
a part of this expansion is they have to work together?
Sure, sort of, yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
Nintendo first quarter results are in for Q1 2018, and the company has revealed that the Switch's sales have reached 19.67 million units, while software sales for the platform have reached 83.93 million units. The current top-selling Switch games are
84. Sorry, what's that? What's the ratio there?
what do you mean ratio?
What is it again? Give me the rounded up number.
It is 20 million units sold, and then
84.
84 million games.
So about 4 games a thing.
Yeah, about 4 to
It's not too
a
bad.
little bit higher.
A little bit higher than 4 games a unit.
Um,
Pretty good.
So yeah,
Sounds about right.
In reverse order, also, I'm just gonna say, I will say a number like 1.38, and that means 1.38 million because I don't want to add on
1.3800.
Mario Tennis Aces 1.38. This is number starting with number 10. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze 1.4. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 1.42. Kirby Star Allies 1.89. ARMS 2.01, which is surprising to me. 1-2 Switch 2.45, which is more surprising to me. Splatoon 2 6.76. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 9.32. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 10.35, and Super Mario Odyssey at 11.17, which is crazy. That means that over half of the people that have Switches all own Super Mario Odyssey.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Apparently, that game is very good. But yeah, I'm happy that the Switch continues to do well. Which that means, so the last number we got from them was 17 point something million units in May. So that means over the course, I think April or May, it was one of those 2 months. Over the course of 2 to 3 months, they've sold another 2 to 3 million units.
Dee's had a really good. He tweeted something out the other day.
I was just pulling that up
about
just now.
The Switch, about their estimated 2018 sales, and they're a good. I think they're a good 12 million off of that.
I have it here. I'll
Oh,
read
yeah,
it.
there you go.
So this is from @Pete to the D's. Nintendo forecasted 20 million Switches sold in fiscal year 2018. We're a quarter in, and they've moved only 1.88 million, which is a pace of 7.52 million by fiscal year end. So about 12 million short of projections. That he says that 16% stock drop in June post E3 was just the beginning if this keeps up.
Yeah. Like I hope they make their 20 million sales because I think the Switch needs to stick around. But that stat's kind of like shit, man. They've only moved about 2, maybe 3 million units in the first quarter. Like, god damn, that's crazy.
I don't know
I
that
think
I'm
a
necessarily worried about that though, because I feel like Smash Brothers and Pokemon are going.
Sure,
I was
yeah.
gonna
Are
say
they going to sell 12 million units? Maybe not.
Yeah, like,
But,
but my point, yeah, sure. I'm not saying this is going to fail the Switch, but unfortunately, like stockholders are looking at those numbers, and that's what sucks. It's like,
But
all
we-
about that.
we
stock.
also-
I think once it gets closer to the holiday
absolutely,
season, it's gonna rocket.
I think
Huge.
so too.
I don't know if they're going to make their sales projection though. I think that probably won't happen. But I also think too, like,
Which does not mean this thing's a failure. It
No,
just
no,
means,
no.
It just means stockholders are going to be upset. That's all.
we talked about it. We talked about this in our Microsoft versus Nintendo episode, or Xbox versus Switch episode, whatever we ended up calling it. This was like 5 or 6 weeks ago. Go listen to it. But we talked about it, like, in the amount of time that the Switch has been on the market compared to the amount of time that the Xbox One has been on the market, which we would all consider the Xbox One to be a success, a smaller success.
Sure.
But we would consider it to be a successful console.
If you can sell 30 million units, hell yeah, you're a success.
The Switch has outsold it. So it's
19.7 million units has outsold the Xbox.
within-
I'm sorry.
within the time of it
Got
being on the
Okay,
market.
okay.
The Switch has outsold it,
like,
which
whoa.
means that it'll probably end up at the end of the generation, at least by my prediction. It will probably end up outselling the Xbox One in terms of total units on the market, which there are a lot of reasons why that'll happen that you can go listen to in that episode. But so is it the same sort of success that Nintendo is projecting it to be? No, but that's also a problem with Nintendo projections. Had they projected more accurately, the stock prices probably wouldn't have dropped the way that they did.
See, that's the hard part. Do you project in such a way that you will meet your projections, or do you project in a way that will entice stockholders to invest more?
I think when you're Nintendo, you go realistic instead of optimistic.
I agree,
Yeah.
especially in the space they were in after the Wii U. Especially the space they were in after the Wii U.
Yeah.
If this came out after the Wii, no, man, just fucking say something because you're gonna be a success anyway.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you preceded this with the Wii U, which is the absolute worst selling Nintendo console of all time, and you hit a home run with the Switch. However, nobody cared.
Do you think they could have gone straight from the Wii to the Switch?
No, the
'Cause I feel
technology
like-
wasn't there.
Yeah, well, I mean, had they even
The
waited
Wii-
longer,
the
I
Wii
feel
U
like the
was
Wii
that-
U was like that middle ground.
That
like,
Wii U was the
Sure.
stopgap.
Yeah.
It was a stopgap between the two. I will say though, there is something that worried about the top 10 games on the system. The thing that worries me about this is the fact that there is not a single third-party game on that list. That means that a third-party game has to have sold less than.
Would you consider
1.38
Xenoblade
million
Chronicles
units.
2 like a second party game? Because
I guess,
Nintendo
but
didn't
it-
really
but
develop
it's-
it.
but it's still
it's
exclusive.
published, sure.
It technically is a second-party game because it's not owned.
Second, third party.
I guess I mean,
2.5 party game, so yeah.
But I think Xenoblade Chronicles is considered a first-party IP, like in the same way that Ratchet and Clank
Sure,
is,
yeah,
even though
yeah,
they don't
yeah,
own
yeah,
Insomniac. That worries me. Unless they just didn't include numbers for third-party games. Maybe this, because it is from a Nintendo sales report, so maybe it's just including
Maybe.
these 10 games. But from what I read, and I read this on multiple websites, it says the current top-selling Switch games. So the fact that if this is to be believed, then that would mean that like third party games have all sold less than 1 million units out of 20 million people.
Which
And
would,
s- and
isn't
Switch-
that surprising though? Like
Well,
honestly,
Well, is it surprising? Maybe not, but no, it's not. I mean, every Nintendo console has always said Nintendo games are the best selling things on every console, with the exception of a couple, of course. However, which is really like not scary, but kind of like disconcerting, is that they're ramping up to have 20 or 30 indie games launch every single month or every single week or whatever that is. They said like that's disconcerting.
It is surprising to me, though. It's surprising to me because of how many developers are willing to jump on and start pumping their games out on Switch. To me, like what that said to me, because of the growth that we saw, like suddenly out of nowhere, of all these people being like, "Oh, we're putting our game on Switch." What that said to me was like, "Oh, hey, they must be doing pretty well."
But it's just
they must be able to.
But all
justify
those
the
are just
port.
ports, though. Like I don't think we've seen a couple. I'm not saying that there's not. Octopath,
I mean, you're-
Octopath Traveler is a really really good example of something that's exclusive to the Switch, made for the Switch, kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles. It's one of those games, but they're kind of few and far between. Most of those games are just ports.
But now that I'm thinking about this more, though, I think this is just Nintendo games. I think that this is being misreported.
Nintendo. Oh, you think so?
Because you
the
would
top
have to.
the top selling Nintendo published games.
I think so because you would have to think that Mario plus Rabbids sold more than 1.38 million units.
more than Mario Tennis Aces.
Yes. Mario Tennis Aces is going to keep selling because it just came out like a month ago. But I would have to believe there is no way that Mario plus Rabbids sold less than 1 million copies.
Justin, can you get on that just to see?
sure.
Just in case. or maybe it's right there. Maybe it's 1.37 million units.
Maybe,
you know
but
what I mean?
I don't think that's the case though. I feel like everyone was playing that fucking game when it came out, and it came out in a
well,
really
I
good
understand.
time.
I understand why 1-2 Switch is in the top 5 because when the Switch first came out, that was literally the only game worth buying or that you could buy.
That's what I was
day
gonna
one.
say. Like that makes sense.
Day
Or, like,
one of the
ARMS.
Switch. Besides, like, what was a really cool one where you have to cut the little guys and
Snipper Clippers or
Snipper
whatever.
Clips, yeah, Snipper Clips Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
1-2 Switch was literally the only launch game other than like a couple little indie games like Snipper Clips.
Yeah.
So I can understand why that's number 5, but you do bring up Mario Rabbids had got huge.
It was reviewed well. Everyone was talking about it. They're still developing DLC for it, so I would have to believe that this is just Nintendo titles. I'm not also convinced that those ports are if I were to guess. So let's look. The lowest. So I would say that the
1.4 is the lowest.
But I would also say that like out of all those other games, it's not a huge surprise that they haven't sold a shit ton of units. I would have expected Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to maybe do 2 to 3 million. I'm surprised it's only sold like almost 1.5 million. But Splatoon 2 is at 6.76. I would say that third parties are probably at 5 if Splatoon is at 6.76.
That's crazy that Splatoon is that high. What do you got?
I'm still looking for
And
it.
nothing. It's hard to find fucking Nintendo numbers.
It's hard to find any numbers anymore. Like unless
It
your
is.
game
It
your
is.
game is like a huge success,
Sure, yeah.
you
Or
don't
they're
fucking put
publishing
up numbers up
articles
there.
like every day of like we passed
yeah.
this
Yeah,
million.
it's really hard to find shit.
And they don't have great
But
signal on it either.
but now when I think about Mario plus Rabbids, I'm like that this has
Well,
to
like
just
I'm
be-
trying to think about. I'm sure Mario Rabbids got on the NPDs, but how high did it get? Because if it never hit number 1, we know for a fact it didn't sell 1 million, at least in that month. You know what I mean?
Speaking of MPDs, real fast though, there was something that I thought was interesting about this too. Kirby Star Allies was on the MPDs, and I don't remember where it was at on that list, but that game
say
came
mid.
out. That game
I was gonna
came
say,
out
like, 5,
recently. So I would guess that it had like after its launch, it probably didn't sell like another 1 million units.
Sure.
So that gives us an idea of where those MPDs were that month. Because let's say it sold 1.5 million units at that time. That like it's funny because I just always when you think about the MPDs because no one puts numbers on it, I always like equate bigger numbers to the actual sales.
Sure, yeah, like.
But you had said too, like, hey, like getting on the MPDs is not hard, and
Yeah.
this kind of proves it.
Yeah.
Seeing the actual units sold for Kirby Star Allies, it's like, oh, the MPDs actually aren't that
I
impressive.
would like to know if you're right, if this is just the top selling Nintendo published games. Because you're right, I don't see why that Ubisoft game wouldn't be on there. I don't see why. Well, I'm trying to think of Switch titles. Isn't there like no? Because that's a Nintendo. So you're telling me Hyrule Warriors on the Nintendo Switch hasn't sold at least 1 million units?
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like Hyrule Warriors, that's technically Bandai Namco. That's not.
it's Nintendo published, right?
Yeah, I guess, but I don't think it. I don't think it counts as. I don't think it counts
Man,
as.
So from
Nintendo
this
numbers
article,
are
I can't
confusing.
find a solid
Sure,
number.
sure.
From this article, I am going to assume that this only includes
Rabbits.
Nintendo exclusives.
Okay.
Because
Nintendo published games.
because in this it talks about how Mario plus Rabbids, as this was pretty recent after it came out, like maybe a month. It was the best selling third party game on the Switch at the time. And then in this article, it talks about how it there's no figures or anything that talks about if it's going to overtake any first party Nintendo games. But according to Nintendo's most recent official figures, ARMS and 1-2 Switch will be the most likely to get caught. So if they're predicting that ARMS and 1-2 Switch were possibly going to get overtaken by Mario plus Rabbids, that puts
almost,
it like in the middle.
Sure. So I think we can safely assume that Trey is right, and this is 100% first party games.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what
a
I
list
meant.
of first party games, which is dumb. I don't need, like, no offense, Nintendo. I'm glad you're succeeding, but I don't need to see your first party games. I need to see how your other games are doing on your console.
well, because that's what makes or breaks the console.
right. Like it's fucking. Whether you like it or not, Halo doesn't make or break Xbox. It's Call of Duty does. You know what I mean? That's kind of frustrating, but whatever. Whatever you want to do, Nintendo. Your fucking ball game.
Sony has released its Q1 FY 2018 figures. I don't know.
Fiscal year.
Fiscal year.
There you go.
Cool. I was like, I don't know what FY means.
Patrick had that in his tweet too, and it took me a second. I was like, "Fry."
You're all fry yellow.
Which reveal-
fucking yenini.
which revealed that 3.2 million PS4 units were shipped to retailers in the period between April 1st and June 30th,
Damn.
bringing the total number of consoles shipped since its introduction to the market 5 years ago to 82.2 million units. The figure is down from the same period last year, but Sony's forecast for this year predicts that sales will be down by 3 million year on year, which puts total units sold in the vicinity of 16 million units.
Damn, 8.22 shipped. That means the retailers bought 8.2, so they've technically sold 82 million units.
Right.
Technically.
Sold it to
Sold it to
store.
retailers. So I wonder if we go to every GameStop in the world, how many PS4s are just sitting in that back room? Or if we go to the GameStop warehouse, how many PS4s are just sitting there?
I
It
mean, you
has
worked
to
at
be a decent
GameStop. How
amount.
much do y'all keep usually
That
just
was
in the back?
that was different though, because that was still relatively close to the launch.
Sure,
of the
yeah.
game.
Okay,
I mean,
sorry,
like
console.
now.
Let's not say PS4. Whenever you were there, PS3. How many PS3s did y'all have just chilling in the back?
This late into the console cycle, so what are we, 4 years in?
Mm-hmm.
5.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, we didn't keep a lot, to be honest with you.
Well, because I mean, new consoles were just hard to push.
Sure, but that's also just again, that's why I changed my statement from the actual mom and pop, the actual brick and
Store
mortar
versus,
to warehouse.
warehouse,
Like
yeah.
how many PS4s are sitting in that GameStop warehouse in Dallas right now?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
It has to be a ton, but at that point, like Sony's made their money, you know.
yeah, that's true. Sony's already made $82 million or 82 million units worth of money.
And you would think that retailers would be smart enough not to buy more consoles in there.
Exactly. If you're-
not
if-
that,
Sure,
but you would hope that would be the case.
and
If you're
when,
buying
and when you
consoles,
say
demand.
that, when you say that, I think GameStop is smart enough to not overbuy what they think they're going to sell. They've been around a really long time. I would think GameStop's smart enough. Walmart, maybe not. Target, probably not. GameStop, totally.
Well, but Walmart especially, they can afford to just buy. Like
that's true.
it doesn't matter to
Very
them. GameStop, it's big.
Yeah, Walmart, you can afford to buy things, so start buying the new Star Wars and Marvel waves. I'd really appreciate it.
Now we just need EA to come out and talk about their Q1 earnings so that we can find out the Xbox sales.
Sure. We're just
So,
going to have to
yikes.
assume Xbox sales for the rest of our lives because EA's never going to say shit.
Oh no, EA is the one who constantly like says it. The whole reason why
Microsoft.
we know
I'm not
anything
sure.
about Microsoft sales
Sure.
is because EA constantly says it
not-
during their earnings.
I'm not sure we'll ever hear EA say shit anymore.
I
Maybe we will.
I
but
think we will. I don't think EA gives a shit. I don't think they
might
care.
not. It's like, hey, we own the world. Stockholders, fuck you. We're gonna make the money no matter what.
I don't. I think their stockholders want to know too. Like,
Yeah, possibly.
is it worth it to keep? Because EA has been partnering up with Xbox a lot. Because Activision's been partnering up with Sony.
Sony, yeah.
So I think their people want to know, like, their investors want to know, like, is it worth it to keep doing this?
There's a Call of Duty 4 on the Blizzard launcher, Battle.net. There's a Call of Duty 4 thing there. It's weird.
Yeah,
The Destiny one's like I understand, but the Call of Duty 4 one being there, it's just weird.
I felt the same way.
It's just weird.
Why is that
Like
weird?
Destiny makes sense,
Because
but
it's weird. Like it's Call of Duty. Like I understand it's Activision.
Yeah.
And I understand it's Blizzard or whatever the fuck they call it, but it's like this is the Battle.net launcher on PC. Like Call of Duty's on the Battle.net launcher now. It's just weird. It's really
don't
weird.
like
That's
it.
all.
Portal 2, Team Fortress 2, and Left 4 Dead series writer Jay Pinkerton
It's a great Weezer album, by the way. Way
is-
to go, Jay.
is back at Valve after leaving in June last year for undisclosed reasons. Pinkerton's, I cannot say his last name was spotted on Valve's staff page, and the news soon made it to Reddit. He is listed under the other expert section rather than writing. It's not clear in what capacity he has returned to the company, which is all this is interesting because, Gabe Newell recently made a commitment to making more Valve games.
Yep.
They put out the release date for Artifact this week, which I don't give a shit about.
Nope.
So I didn't put it on the
I
news.
saw a little puppy, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't give a
but-
shit about this game now.
But it's interesting. So I don't know.
I want to be another expert.
Just
That's what I want to do. It's like, what do you want to do with your life, little boy? Well, I want to be another expert.
I want to be another expert on Valve's staff page. I think that the internet's
Half-Life 3 confirmed. Just kidding.
Well, I think the internet's thinking Portal 3 or which goes back to the Turtle Rock thing, Left 4 Dead 3. I think it's nothing. I really don't think that. I have a feeling that we're not going to see an actual game worth playing from Valve for a really long time. And if we do, it's not going to be what people expect.
What a pessimist. I think it's nothing.
I could see Portal 3 being a thing, but like, I think the Half-Life 3 dream is starting to die finally.
Oh, I don't even at this point.
Is it even a dream? It's more so a meme than a dream.
Sure,
really.
maybe.
I mean,
at this
I
point,
still don't
I don't
understand
think I don't think people are still genuinely.
I still don't
like,
understand.
Oh,
I still don't understand what a
Half-Life
meme is yet because people call dances memes, and I just don't understand it. I legit don't understand what a meme
3.
is.
I actually looked up the definition of meme the other day.
What is it?
It is so.
I thought it was a picture with words on it.
That's what I thought too.
That's like kind of like what it originated as. Basically, it is sharing like the idea of something through social media or through media, basically.
You just define the internet.
Yeah, no, it is literally basically just sharing something.
So the internet is a meme.
The internet's a meme then,
I'll look it
because
up.
you literally just define
I'm
the
literally
internet.
just going to look it up for you because you did a shit job explaining, and I don't trust
It's
your
not a
judgment
good
anymore.
definition.
Can you
That's
explain
element-
meme? Yes. Okay, go.
It's the internet.
It's sharing stuff. Listen
an
to this
element
definition and then tell me it's not just sharing shit.
An element of a culture or system of behavior that may be considered to be passed from one individual to another by non-generic means, especially imitation. I'm sorry, by non-genetic, not generic. Non-genetic means. God, I fucking suck at reading.
Wait, what?
Especially imitation. An element of a culture or system of behavior that may be considered to be passed from one individual to another by non-genetic means, especially imitation.
So
So
a
it is a
meme is
thing
just sharing
shared.
information.
Thank you. It is sharing information.
So
but
me
not
te-
just
so
word.
me-
But it's not just words. It is not a.
So
To that definition, what I'm about to do right now, hey Everett, WoW, you can play all the expansions of WoW for $15 a month. I just memed Everett.
no.
Yes, I did. To that definition, I just memed
there has
Everett.
I think there has to be an element of imitation.
There has to exactly. It's,
Oh.
it is a. There's a.
oh, my
there's a-
name's
so, like,
Blizzard, and I'm
there-
selling WoW
So
for
I think that,
$15.
like,
there has to be- there's a format. There's a format.
It's like the
almost
phrase
like an accepted
"here's the
format.
deal" has become a Twin Stick Radio meme because that was something that you did pretty much exclusively, and we all have kind of adopted in our own sense. At some point in our existence,
Interesting.
the three of us have all said, "Here's the deal," and like
is a-
non-ironically,
It
we
is
just
a
copied it
twin
from
stick
you.
cultural thing that has been summed up into one phrase or one thing, and now we imitate it, and you get.
Although,
it.
but I also don't understand too. That leads me to believe though that either Merriam-Webster doesn't understand what a meme is, or
Wait, the word meme is in the Webster's dictionary?
Yes. It got added like 2 years ago.
or the people who call everything a meme don't understand what the definition of meme is.
Sure, I think,
because
I think that's more the thing.
because it's like the way that the way that the word meme is used doesn't always match up with that definition.
Sure.
A meme,
I
but that's
agree.
the thing. A meme is almost anything.
You
just
can't.
shared.
You literally. Okay, sure, you can. However, I can't just go around calling everything a fucking pillow. That's not how the English language works.
No,
think
but
that-
if you make a video on it and it goes viral, and then people think it's funny, and then it's like, oh, that's a pillow, and then that's a meme.
No, I'm not talking about meme anymore. You can't just use the word meme to describe something because you're too stupid to know the actual word that is used to describe it.
It's like that thing on the wall. That's a meme.
Yeah, like, that thing, it's a meme. No, it's a fucking bass guitar. Like, if you weren't dumb.
but
I
if-
actually did not know what that was because I just thought it was an electric guitar.
But that's what I mean. Like, it seems like the word meme is a substitute for somebody who's too stupid to know the actual word that is used to describe something. So, like, the dances. People, I've seen Twitter. It's like,
Right.
people should be.
Those are memes.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're dances. Like, the fucking floss dance is
Yeah.
a floss dance. It is not a
but
meme.
wouldn't
I don't know how to explain this.
but wouldn't the floss dance be considered a meme?
It's a dance.
Okay, hold on. But it's an element of
exactly.
culture. Or is the floss dance an element of culture or system of behavior that may be considered to be passed from one individual to another by non-genetic means, especially imitation?
An
Yes.
elephant of social, an element of social behavior? No, it's a dance.
But I'm pretty sure that
It's a social phenomenon, or it's a cultural thing.
It's a dance.
But I think the way that it was spread makes it a meme. Because
it's a dance.
but I think that other dances could also be considered a meme too.
Chris, we live in a post-Rage 2 world.
Anything is possible.
But it's
That's a meme.
It is a dance. The moon.
That is a meme. It is.
The moonwalk is a dance, not a meme.
Because that was created before memes.
Oh, but also like I think that the moonwalk can be like grandfathered into being a meme.
That's my whole point.
Chris is hitting that wall of just like, no, the world is wrong.
No, the world is too stupid to use the word dance. That's where we're at right now.
But it's more so a meme is like
Fortnite is not a meme; it's a game.
Correct.
But I've seen multiple people use the term meme to describe Fortnite.
So I think that you're
there's
okay.
things-
Okay,
It's a meme is in like
An
a meme
umbrella
is
term.
umbrella. Like a meme is up here. Within memes, there are
Dances,
images
games,
with funny
music,
words on them.
videos.
There are,
but they're dances.
are
They're not a
vines
meme.
and
No,
GIFs.
but okay, like it is still a dance. No one is saying that the floss dance is not a dance. It's literally in the name.
internet is saying it's a meme.
Well, the
not a
internet's
dance.
wrong.
But it's
That's
just-
my point. We're done.
Hold on. We can
100% done there.
We can all agree that the floss dance is a dance. It is still also a meme. The umbrella term of
Sure.
meme includes dances.
I understand that. However, if you're fucking 16 years old, stop calling the floss dance a meme. It is a dance. Look up the term dance, use it, and while you have the dictionary open, just read it. Expand your vocabulary because the word meme was added 2 years ago. There are better words that have been there for hundreds of years to describe everything that you want to say.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man.
Last news item. I think I'm going to name this episode "What's in a Meme." Spyro fans are
Ken has mean.
Ken has meme.
Ermagerd
memes.
Spyro fans are furious after gaming sleuth Wario64 discovered that the upcoming Spyro Reignited trilogy will require a content download to play the second and third game. Fans are worried about the DRM aspect of the download, meaning that once the servers are shut down, fans will not be able to download the games again. From a statement made to Game Informer, it seems the publisher views the downloads as a minor issue. Activision stated, quote, "As with most games today, downloading an update after purchase is quite common. The language on packaging and on the web is to let players know the requirements for Spyro Reignited Trilogy."
Hey, Spyro fans, you're about 6 years too late for this argument. You should have started this about 6 years ago, so DRM wouldn't have been a thing.
Not only that,
But we're about 6 years late.
Not only that, but they're just like, oh, but if the servers get shut down, we won't get to play it.
Sure,
and it's
guess
like,
what?
okay, but right now you have to boot up your old PS2 to go play Spyro.
Well, no,
so
I mean,
what, like,
sure, but that's not like the point is like if Bungie shuts down Destiny 2 tomorrow, all of our money has just been wasted. Welcome to the fucking modern day gaming, everybody. Like, get over it. That's just the way it works. I lost $200 in Marvel Heroes.
I think
that's where gaming's at.
I think we talked about this last week about like preserving games and all that. Like, on one hand, I get where they're coming from. On the other hand, like, I guess I just that's how it is.
Yeah.
I do think though that it is kind of a little bit lazy on Activision's part. Well, actually, it might not be laziness. This might be an example of rushed development. Because I feel like that Spyro Reignited thing kind of came together and happened really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be trying to go gold before 2 and 3 are actually finished. So this is their way of trying to like get the game out as fast as possible
Possibly.
to kind of like ride off of the Crash Bandicoot wave.
Possibly.
However, I do think like if you can put it on the disc. The games aren't that big. It's not like it's a Blu-ray. Blu-ray have like infinite amount of
Sure.
storage. It's fine. I wish they would, rather than take the shortcut to get this out, I wish they would have actually just taken the time and put
Sure.
it on the disc. But they didn't, and that's not exclusive to them. They're not the first people that have done that.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with things just being digital though. Like,
Spider-Man went gold, by the way.
I know, I saw. I don't know. Like, I know we get worried about because we talked about last week about preserving things and having like these physical copies of everything.
Is that last week or the week
I
before?
think that was last week
was
because
last
I
week.
remember it being in the apartment.
Yeah, we did it at
okay.
your house.
Okay.
Or not the apartment, the house.
But I don't know. Like in some ways, and maybe this is just maybe naive. I feel like it being digital might make it last longer, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like
to a certain degree, though, like
It gets it out more.
it gets it out more, but
Sure.
it's just like
The-
if we're not putting on our spinfoil hats about like the internet crashing in 10 years
You
or
don't even
whatever.
play Destiny.
What are you talking
You
about?
don't even know what a spinfoil hat is.
Yeah, but that's what you say. So
Oh.
it's a meme. But like, if we're being realistic, if the internet or if the grid just went down, you have worse problems to deal with than Spyro.
that's
You
very
can't
true.
play Spyro.
That's very
in defense of what you just said, though, like I really think that this is going to be the last generation where backwards compatibility isn't a feature that's expected from new consoles. I think the PS5 and the Xbox 220 or whatever, I don't know what they're going to call it.
Xbox 2.
Xbox 2020.
But I think
Xbox
that I think backwards compatibility are going to be baked into both of them. I think that on
hope
day
so.
one of PlayStation 5, I will
should
be able
be
to
put it-
download Destiny 2 and
hope
pick
you're right.
up and play the game
Yeah,
from
I
there.
hope you're right.
So in my mind, like that kind of puts a little bit of like there are still games from fucking original Xbox Live Arcade games are still up for download on Xbox One.
EverQuest still exists.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with digital too is like and Trey said it a little bit. Trey said it last week too. If we talked about this last week, I don't remember that. But like digital sales, there's such a huge potential for it to be everywhere. Does that make sense? Where like physical things, it's really hard to find the Beatles White Album. It's just really hard because there wasn't a lot printed, and then the ones that did probably got ruined in floods or destroyed in tornadoes, natural, just not taken care of. It just happens. Like Trey said last week, the preservation of games. Physical games are harder to preserve because it's something you need to take care of. Taking care of it's not necessarily hard,
And
but
it's-
it's something you need to take care of.
and it's something that you like. Art, you just hang on a wall and you can preserve it.
Sure, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a game, you using it and playing it
Sure, it's
is going
it's
to cause
deteriorating.
damage.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
And so digital, like I said, the potential for it to be everywhere is there. It's greater. So, the preservation of games, even digitally, like, yeah, I guess to an extent, if everything just went to shit, we'd lose everything, and then the games that are just digital weren't preserved. But the actual like odds of that happening are slim to none. Unless something crazy happens, so
And
games
like
are
I said,
yeah,
you have
game
much bigger things to worry about.
games are preserved. I say this all the time. Like I have Marvel Heroes on my computer. It's preserved. It's there. I'm not going to delete it. The only problem is I can't play it because the servers aren't there. But I have the entirety of Marvel Heroes still on my computer.
That's how I felt with Flappy Bird on my phone. I had Flappy Bird on my phone until maybe last
Sure.
year.
Also, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
me
did you see like when Flappy Bird got taken down? Like iPhones with Flappy Bird were selling for thousands of dollars on eBay.
So people were selling them. I don't think any of
Same
them were
thing.
actually
Same thing
sold,
with
but
same thing with PT. When PT finally got taken down, and PlayStations that have PT loaded onto it, you could sell. I mean, at one point in time, not anymore because people aren't stupid. You could sell that PlayStation for a good amount of money because it
Right.
had a game that just didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Games with gold and PlayStation Plus.
Oh man, you guys are gonna get. I don't know what it is, but I bet you guys got screwed hard. I bet Xbox like pulled your pants down.
Hey, it's all right. I'm getting a
It's,
PlayStation and like a
there's one
month?
there's one good game.
Oh, okay.
Games with gold. Forza Horizon 2 will be available from August 1st to August 31st.
That game came out launch day of Xbox 360.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Oh.
Forza Horizon 2?
No, that was
2?
that was Forza 5.
Nope, that's Xbox One. Forza Horizon. Oh, I'm thinking Forza Horizon.
You're thinking Forza 2.
You're right. I am thinking
Yeah,
Forza.
Forza
2.
Horizon 2 was the last Forza
you're
Horizon
right.
game, which is really good from what I've heard. For Honor from August 16th to September 15th. Those are both your Xbox One games. Xbox 360
maybe
gets
sure.
I'll pick
Dead
it up and
Space-
play it. That's a game that I've wanted to just play.
it's all
Just-
PvP.
Well, hey, if you're getting it for free, might as
It's
well
all
give it a
PvP.
shot.
It's all PvP shit.
Xbox 360 gets Dead Space 3 from August 1st through the 15th, and Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2 from August 16th to August 31st.
I remember the
Epic
original. I
Mickey.
remember the original Epic Mickey being fairly good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
The
was.
first one. I don't know
Yeah.
about the second one.
The second
I
one
didn't
has
play the second
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who is the original Mickey Mouse.
He was the original
fact.
Mickey Mouse. He was the original concept for Mickey
It's
Mouse.
I don't think it's a.
There was one cartoon that came out with Oswald, but it was after Steamboat Willie.
After Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Oswald was the original like concept of Mickey Mouse, and they went to Mickey Mouse and Steamboat, and then they came out with a couple of Oswald cartoons after Steamboat.
On PlayStation Plus, there is one good game on here that I'm actually excited we're getting. On PlayStation 4, we are getting Mafia 3. the new Mafia with the black protagonist, which I think looks really cool, but I was never going to buy because it didn't review that well.
Is that the one-
I'm glad I'm getting it for free because I'm going
I
to give it a
think I
shot.
would
Is that the
play
one that took place in like Louisiana, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Just play Grand Theft Auto.
It's not New Orleans.
Dead by Daylight is also the other one.
Which one's that one?
I actually don't know Dead by Daylight that well.
Dead by Daylight. It's you wouldn't like it.
Is Dead by Daylight the 4v1 one?
Yes.
Oh, bull.
It's the one we did.
I mean, I would say
Buh.
1v4.
1v4.
Ah, I hate that game.
What's the difference? 4v1, 1v4. I know it's like they call it 1v4, but it's still the same concept.
4v1, I feel like implies those 4 people are trying to go after that one, whereas 1v4 is like that one is trying to kill all those 4 people.
That's
Does that
not
make
what
sense?
that's not what versus means. I'm sorry.
It's very true.
I understand, but
That means one person versus fighting against 4 people.
yeah,
Or it could be 4 against 1.
It's kind of like an addition sign. 1 plus 1. I'm sorry, 1 plus 2. 1 plus
1 plus
2
1 is the same
and-
as 1 plus 1,
1
okay?
plus 1 and 2 plus 2 are the same thing.
Right.
That's kind of how versus works.
No.
Wait, you
no,
just-
no. 1
1
plus
plus
2
2
is
and
3.
2 plus 1
And 2 plus
is-
1 is also 3.
I understand
No,
that.
no,
but
that's what I'm saying though. 1 plus 1 or 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 and 2 plus 1.
Yes.
It's the
equal
same thing.
yes.
That is not what you said. You
did I
said
say?
1 plus 1 and 2 plus 2 are the same thing.
Did I say 2 plus 2?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know what is wrong with me. On PS3, you get bound. That's what I meant to say. The second thing that
Sure.
I said. On PS3, you get Bound by Flame and Serious Sam 3 BFE.
Actually, you know what? Bound by Flame was a fairly good game.
I can
It was
like,
like-
see the cover in my head, but I don't think I ever played it.
It was like on the it's good like Two Worlds and Two Worlds 1 on
It's
the
like
original Xbox
that B
was.
tier when it still existed.
Yes, yeah, it was like that B tier. It was as good as like what was that original Xbox 360 game that came out where you were like this like kind of space age kind of Egyptian god look,
God,
and you use a
no,
lot of
no.
the joysticks were the combat mechanic.
It was it like the Diablo game?
Yeah,
and it was a Microsoft published game.
No, it wasn't Two Worlds. Yes,
God, I could see it in
I
my
can't.
head where
I
you're a
can't
god.
Too. Yeah, you're basically a god.
Too human.
Too human. It's about on a good. It's that good scale of where
Yeah.
like two human, two
like,
worlds.
You're
that
not
one.
you're not going to win Game of the Year, but I'm glad I played.
Yeah,
you.
but you're okay. Yeah, it's fine.
On PlayStation Vita, you get Draw Slasher and Space Hulk.
Oh, Space Hulk.
I think
That's what I call my penis.
I think whenever I was at GameStop, I saw somebody selling their their Vita, like right in front of us.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor
Getting
guy.
rid of that really great console.
We're going to end this show with a long email from Damien.
Oh, snap, Damien.
And I'm going to read the
a letter.
Shut up.
Just got a letter.
Shut up.
I'm going to read the whole thing this time.
Crack.
Because I got shit last time for not reading the whole thing. So I'm going to read the whole thing. And Damien understands why I don't read the whole thing. Because we've had these conversations before.
Well, if you love Damien so much, then have him on here instead.
Why did you marry him?
But because he's like 12. That'd be weird.
That's illegal.
All right. So he says, "Hey, y'all. I'm back for a second week in a row. And Trey, I don't mind if you don't read my emails on the show, as they are very, all caps, long."
Trey paid him to say that.
Yeah, Damien, let me PayPal you some Fortnite bucks.
What an old man.
I know. Is that what they're called?
No, it's
Fortnite bucks. He's not far off.
I wanted to do a bit of a rant about why I think streaming consoles are stupid. So first things first, in order to stream a game, you would need to have a fast and stable internet that never throttles. Whenever I boot up a single game, the last thing I want to have happen is lag or my connection drops and I lose hours of progress. Next thing, if they're going to be more than $500, I might as well take all that money and build a PC with that money and not stream my fucking games. Third thing, if you don't own the game and have it downloaded, kiss offline gaming goodbye. I know that a lot of these are about if you only streamed your games, but once these consoles come out, you can bet they're going to put way too much emphasis on streaming and probably move completely away from downloaded gaming in the future. Not to mention, if you charge for gaming multiplayer and a stream service, I'm packing my bags, restarting my Destiny career, and moving to PC. Sorry about that rant. I'm not entirely sure how much of that made sense. However, I do have a question. Actually, let's talk about the streaming stuff first, and I'll read this
Yeah,
question.
he's right on every sense of the word. Every sense of that email, or every part of that email. He's 100%
I mean, that's all stuff
correct.
we talked about.
Yeah.
I will say, to play devil's advocate, still, this is not the way I want to play games in the future, but to play devil's advocate, part of the reason that streaming Xbox Scarlet console is going to be more expensive is because apparently it has technology built into it to make streaming more reliable and more
Sure,
stable.
I saw a really good like layman's terms on how this works. Is basically what it does is as you're playing and as you're streaming, when you're watching a YouTube video, the video buffers. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
buffering on the streaming service that you're on, right? You're watching a YouTube video, it starts to buffer. It's because your internet throttle, blah blah blah, whatever.
Right.
So, but as you're playing this game, it's basically always downloading in the background while you're playing. So there shouldn't ever be lag or buffering because it's already streamed forward more than where you're at. Does that make sense? It's a really good layman's way of describing that. Why
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a problem.
Well,
But we're also talking about
if you have internet access,
Right.
Because that was
Right,
and that's
exactly.
something that he talked about too. Is like Kiss offline playing
Sure,
goodbye.
but even if you
But,
have
like-
shitty internet, like if we tried to play a game here in the studio, fuck that. There's no way.
But like at this point too, the amount that we rely on the internet for our gaming anyways is to such a
pretty heavy.
extreme degree. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
It's pretty
You
damn
kind
heavy.
of have to have pretty capable
Yeah.
internet in order to play games at
I've-
all.
yeah,
I
like
said-
if you pay for like the lowest tier of internet, there's you,
Well,
can't, you
I mean,
really can't.
I mean,
play
I said it
games.
last week. Like, yeah, there's 52 gigs on my hard drive of WoW, but I'm basically streaming that game the entire time I'm playing it. You know what I mean? That's basically what I'm doing. Guild
Well-
Wars, maybe not Destiny. I think most of Destiny's on that console. But like PC gaming and MMOs, you're basically streaming that entire fucking game.
And I think the hope for most gaming developers is that streaming will be the future. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. The idea is that we'll get to the point where the technology is so advanced
Sure.
that it's essentially built into your TV.
Sure.
So that you can play the highest quality content without having to own a PC that costs
Yeah.
$1,500 to $2,000. All you would need to do is buy a controller.
Yep.
Which is good for the gaming industry.
I was gonna say, and it because
there's no barrier of entry.
Again, from the side I was on last week, to consumers, God, that sounds amazing. You know what I mean? That sounds fucking great.
Yeah,
just does.
So I don't necessarily want that still. I'm not advocating for it. I still like the idea of me owning a box and being able to download things onto my box and play them directly from my box. But I do think that this is just like when the internet became basically essential to play games. It wasn't something that I necessarily liked at the beginning, but they sold me on the idea.
Sure.
I think that a world where No Man's Sky can be a completely different game 2 years after launch is a better world to live in than a world where we just have a bad game and it's a bad game.
We didn't talk about No Man's Sky.
We talked about the update before it
Well,
came
no,
out.
no, I know, but like now after the update, like it's getting great reviews. Mm-hmm. But people are like, it seems like people are just like glancing over the fact that people that had started a game and then got back into it have their saves corrupted, so when they go back and play again, they just can't. All their progress they make is just gone. Like
Apparently,
it's a pretty big bug that's been happening.
Apparently, that was on PC, and I think they launched a
It's
patch
PC,
last
okay.
week.
But that's still you lost your once your data is corrupted. I don't think
It's
even
gone.
a patch.
I'm pretty
can't-
sure
you
they
can't-
fixed. I'm pretty sure they fixed it.
I thought once something's corrupted, you can't really do anything about
Well, maybe
it.
it wasn't
Maybe.
actually corrupted. Maybe it was just
Yeah,
inaccessible.
yeah, possibly.
Not that I'm defending it. I do think that there's like kind of this second hype train that's started going for
Sure,
No Man's
yeah.
Sky.
I think it's dead by now, though. To be honest with you,
Man, I still hear about it like every day. And it was funny too going through the news websites today. No Man's Sky was like there was like 16 different articles about it.
Well, because they just released that update, the next update.
Yeah,
was
but my
last
point
week,
being
yeah.
that like interest is higher than I thought it would be.
Sure.
To the point like if it's on the front page
Came
of-
out on Xbox, so
I don't
they're
know,
like, oh, we got to play something.
you
I
have
guess
Fortnite
but
and PUBG.
But that my whole thing is that it just doesn't happen very often with 2-year-old games. Even when you relaunch it, it's not like Wolfenstein came out on Switch 6 months after it launched, and it's not like Wolfenstein 2 had fucking a ton of articles out on it every day.
Sure. And the weirdest thing to me too is that like you can get No Man's Sky for like $9 at Walmart, like $10. It's in the $10 bin at Walmart. And Hello Games just spent God knows how much money developing this update. It's like I don't know. It just that doesn't seem
Well,
like
one of the-
financially that just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem smart. But
One
I
of
don't
the
know.
fucked up things that someone pointed out on a podcast I was listening to is that on PlayStation, No Man's Sky is $20. On PC, it's $30. But on Xbox One, No Man's Sky is $50 because it's not No
'Cause it's
Man's
brand
Sky.
new.
It's called No Man's Sky Next.
Yeah, because it's new. It's
So
new,
essentially, what this guy was saying, he plays mostly on Xbox One. He was saying that it sucks because it's still a 2-year-old game,
Sure.
but because it has the
yeah.
update in it, they're considering it a new game.
yeah, that's digital. Like if you were to buy No Man's Sky at Walmart, it's $10.
If you're to buy it on Xbox, it's still $50. If you're to buy the
Even at
physical copy
oh
of it.
really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yep.
It's a free update. It's a free update.
I know. That's my point.
It literally just clicked. It's like I just got super mad for Xbox users. That's a free fucking update. You're buying the original No Man's Sky. Oh my god. What a fucking
And the-
horse rat.
another
dude.
fucked up-
Jesus Christ.
So it's those people who watch old movies who've never seen it, and it's like, well, it's new to me.
what a
So-
racket, man.
Another fucked up thing is apparently when that tsunami happened in Japan a couple years ago, No Man's Sky or Hello Games got fucked over by it. They lost a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And so someone had asked Phil Spencer about it on Twitter, and Phil Spencer and Microsoft gave money to Hello Games to essentially get their studio rebuilt and try to recover the stuff that they had lost. Then, like a year later, Hello Games signs that exclusive deal with PlayStation.
Yeah. What a fucked up thing.
Yep.
Dude,
That's crazy.
That fucking Jesus Christ, man.
So
They know how to play the field.
Yeah, it's called fucking
one day
horse.
someone will write, Jason Schreier or someone will write a book or a really good article on that
about
whole Hello Games
because
story.
that just sounds like a shit. That's like the definition of shitty.
Yep.
All of it is. God, that's terrible.
Damien also has a question. Do you all think that Fortnite is starting to show signs of falling out of public grace? And if you are, how long do you think Fortnite has? I personally think Fortnite won't be going away for a long while, maybe a year until it really starts to fall out of style. But I do think that it will be suffering from the same thing Minecraft did, as in becoming so big that it can't expand anymore and then must shrink rapidly. Have a fantastic week, y'all. As always, love, Damien. So I think that
no.
I think no. I think that it was projected something that they're supposed to make like $30 billion next year or some ridiculous number like that. I also think that the Minecraft problem, quote, the Minecraft problem, it expanded so rapidly that it didn't have anywhere to go. That is not a bad problem to have. Because if you still look at the amount of, it's the World of Warcraft problem, right? World of Warcraft got so fucking big that it started dropping off and people were reporting, oh, World of Warcraft loses 5 million subscribers and blah, 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 blah. Well, it still had 10 million fucking players.
Yeah.
Like, you get to the point where you have so many people playing your game that even if you have fall off, you know, you still have success. I also will say on Saturday I played my first ever game of Fortnite on my phone because I wanted to see like how it ran on the phone, and it runs fairly well. The fact that you can play this thing on iPhone, soon Android, on Switch, PC, PS4, Xbox
Everything.
One, the fact that you can play it on everything, it works to its
There's
advantage.
a reason Call of Duty is the best-selling game of every year. It's because it's on both consoles.
I mean, it's the same reason why Minecraft got so big.
Yep.
Minecraft
It's on everything. It was on everything at one point in time.
It still it still is.
Grand Theft Auto 5, another thing. It's
Yeah.
on everything. You can't put Grand Theft Auto 5 on a phone. That would be
Not
awesome.
yet.
So
that'd be
will Fortnite shrink? Probably yes.
Yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
I think it will, but
I
it's still
I
gonna be
definitely
around.
don't.
for a
I
while.
don't
still-
think it's fallen out of the public eye or like the graces or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
not anytime soon. Especially when I see people on my timeline going, "I love Fortnite. I dream about Fortnite. When I'm not playing Fortnite, I'm watching somebody play Fortnite. All I want to do is Fortnite. It's like, oh my god, your life is terrible. Number one, number two, Jesus Christ. And the thing, Trey and I know, probably the four of us know there are better games out there. However, better games don't always equate to sales. Popularity equates to sales, always. Call of Duty is the most popular game of all time because everybody plays it. Same thing with Fortnite. I think everybody plays Fortnite, so Fortnite's got, man, if you had to buy Fortnite, can you imagine how much money? Actually, you know what? No,
they wouldn't.
They wouldn't have because it's free.
that's what I was saying. You can't.
Yeah,
like, you
you're
can't
right.
beat free. If
You're
you get rid of
100% right.
get rid of the barrier of entry.
Yeah.
Get people interested in the gameplay loop. Then you just make money.
Yeah.
And
Like-
I think the more interesting question is like how much longer is PUBG going to stay around? PUBG is still doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think
It's
both
still
these
doing well,
I think
but-
both these games are gonna. My prediction is still they're gonna die by the end of 2019 into 2020. I don't
Really?
think they're gonna be. It's a trend.
I don't think Fortnite will. I think Fortnite's going to be like Minecraft.
I'm
where
sorry,
it's like-
die is a terrible word.
I think PUBG though.
I think the decline is going to happen in the end of
it's-
2019.
It's really funny because like in February or
see it.
March, we had that debate on the podcast about like, is PUBG going to die? I think that's what the episode's titled.
Yeah,
if you want to go back
something
and
like
listen
that,
to it, and it's really funny because like none of us considered Fortnite at the time of the conversation, but if you'd asked me back then, like, is PUBG in trouble? I would have said, no, it's not. But
I thought PUBG was going to last for
yeah, we both did.
Years.
We both
I
like
did not.
debated Chris on it. Chris did
because they're trends.
not. But
Everything's a trend.
I think PUBG maybe has like another year or two unless they do something drastic.
Sure.
and-
yeah.
And I think
Sorry,
Fortnite is going to exist until Epic makes Fortnite 2.
Sure,
See,
yeah,
and-
that's what I mean. Like it's just a trend. Like
Yeah.
you're asking about Fortnite. Fortnite's going to be gone. Not gone. I'm sorry. I'm exaggerating when I say these things. Fortnite's going to be gone in 2019, 2020 because the next trend is going to be a thing. Everything in video games are trends.
Well,
it's easy to. It's not easy. I'm sorry. If you really sit down and look at everything and analyze, it's easy. It's really easy to see a trend in video games, and trends come and go every 2, 3, maybe 4 years at the most.
Well-
especially since by the end of 2019 into 2020, guess what that is? Brand new console generation.
Yeah, I mean, like Taylor and I were talking about it a couple days ago about how we went to RTX last year and they were showing off a lot of Fortnite whenever it was just the Save the World, and like me and Taylor like were watching and we're like, yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
is a cool
the 4-player co-op version of it.
yeah.
I don't even know if that exists still.
It does.
Okay.
And you can still buy it. But yeah, like, and I'm pretty sure it was after RTX last year that Taylor and I went and like bought Fortnite.
If you were to poll, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you could poll every single Fortnite player, every single person that has a Fortnite account. If you were to poll them, how many do you think actually know the PvE element of that game exists?
Exist probably a lot.
I would
Because-
I would disagree.
I'm
It's
gonna
on-
be I'm gonna be with Trey.
When you boot up the game, it's right there. You have to select either Save the World or Battle Royale.
Oh, okay.
So they know it's there.
Okay, what about
played it?
Played?
on
Played
mobile
it,
that
I would
was not
say-
an option.
Oh
Oh,
really?
well, because
I know,
Mobile might
but
be-
like that's not an option on Switch. I don't know. I don't even know if it's an option on. Is it an option on Xbox One?
I don't know.
I'm fairly
I
certain.
thought they hadn't
I
launched
honestly,
to Save
I've
the
never
World on
played
Xbox
Fortnite.
One.
I downloaded Fortnite, no joke, downloaded it on my PS4, tried to get in, and I was in a queue for 2 hours. Delete. I don't know. I was in a queue for 2 hours.
Well, you
were-
had started like fairly early.
deleted the shit out of that game.
That's.
I'm waiting.
I've never waited in a queue for longer than maybe 30 seconds.
I shouldn't
That's
be.
crazy.
I shouldn't be in a queue. Period.
So
That's. Well, anyways.
I guess that
I
makes
think
sense.
less than. I would venture to say less than 10%.
Have ever played the PvE
It's crazy.
element?
It's crazy
Because
to
you have
me
to pay
though.
for it. You can't even try it out. You have to pay for it.
It's crazy to me though because the Save the World aspect of it seems so much more interesting
Seems
than the
really
actual
cool.
than the
I
battle
agree.
royale.
You would think it's
No, I think
I know.
100% is more interesting.
I mean, as
'Cause
someone who's played both, I can tell you the
All
Save
you
the
do-
World is very it's just
It's a horde mode. It's Gears of War 3's horde mode. You base build. You try to defend until you get more resources and build bigger base. That's basically Gears of War 3's horde.
Not.
Wherein-
I mean, it's driven by missions basically.
Yeah.
Like you're not. It's not like an endless horde, and you're not always defending like your base.
So there's multiple things to be doing. That's already more than the fucking battle royale where all you do is kill people.
It's not multiple things. It's hard to explain. It's a very simplified, just
That's good,
horde
though.
of a
You
game.
suck at explaining things. Number one.
My understanding of it is that you essentially have like daytime periods where you're going out and collecting stuff.
Sure, and then you
building up
defend.
your base.
Right.
And then nighttime sections where your base is being
Right.
attacked and it's essentially horde or tower defense
Yeah.
at that point.
Which sounds to me that sounds more than battle royale. Like way more fun than battle royale does.
I guess.
But again, number
What,
one,
well,
I'm not-
okay, so the better question is why do you think the battle? Because it sounds to me like you think the battle royale part is more interesting, or you're saying the entire game's not interesting. But why do you think if you do feel like battle royale is more interesting, why do you feel that way?
The Battle Royale, even though like it has like its lag issues and stuff, it feels like a more polished game rather than Save the World. Save the World feels like mini games.
That's because Save the World's literally never come out of beta.
I understand that, but this is what I'm saying. I'm just saying like this is why it feels like Battle Royale feels more polished. Like I'm not
Oh,
I'm
sure.
I'm not faulting them for not working on this game.
I'm
not
never.
many people
I don't
are
think.
playing.
I don't think that's not the argument. Whether which one is more polished isn't the thing.
But that's why it feels like Battle Royale feels like a better. It is a better experience.
Well, that's because Blue Hole, right?
No.
That's
it's
PUBG.
Epic.
That's because Epic realized, oh, Battle Royale is where we need to concentrate.
Yeah.
Sure, but that's not the conversation we're having. The conversation we're having is the Battle Royale mode more interesting than the PvE element of the game.
I guess
Neither one of them is interesting because there's not like
Well, then why the fuck is there 25 billion players playing this game?
because it's fun. There's a
Because
difference
it's-
between
because-
interesting and fun.
Because it's a meme. I'm not kidding.
No, it is a meme.
It's a meme, and unfortunately, like I'm gonna stand by this, just like I stood by my PUBG thing. Memes die, and Fortnite's gonna. And again, over exaggerating of the term "die." I'm not saying Fortnite's literally gonna die and be buried in a grave, but by the end of 2019 into 2020, new console generations, nobody's gonna be playing Fortnite anymore. It's just not gonna happen because it's a meme.
I don't know. I don't see Fortnite falling off that hard.
You said that about you literally said
Well,
that about PUBG.
but Fortnite also came out of nowhere.
So did PUBG. PUBG was just this random mod that came out of H1Z1.
Part of me
was it H1Z1?
Part of me,
It's different. I don't
Where
know.
did PUBG come from? H1Z1?
Arma.
it was a couple things,
Arma. Yeah, it literally came out of nowhere.
Part of me wants to not engage with you on this because you were right about PUBG. Like that's kind of where I am. However, I feel more strongly about this than I felt about it with PUBG. I feel like Fortnite is going to enter Minecraft and GTA 5 and
At least time played, not sales.
no, well, sales don't fucking matter in a free game.
Right, exactly.
But I think it's going to enter that territory where it's just one of those games that's constantly around. Whether or not it's bigger than the big, like I wouldn't say that right now.
No.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is more popular than Fortnite.
100%, sure.
But Grand Theft Auto 5 is going nowhere. That's kind of how I feel about Fortnite. It will drop at some point in the same way that Minecraft has dropped. And we hardly hear about Minecraft shit anymore, but occasionally it's still up there in the top 10 on MTV.
Yeah, every once in a while it breaks it.
So I feel
Which
like
I don't know
Fortnite.
why.
Shit.
Updates, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just always going to be around in the same way that Minecraft is always going to be around.
I agree. I do agree.
But
Especially if Epic's smart enough and takes the PUBG route where they do introduce new maps, or they keep doing what they have been doing.
don't they
and-
already have different maps? I feel like I played on 2 different maps.
No, I think it's the same. It's just a big ass map.
But you know the crazy thing about it is
Fortnite's
like
not a big map.
I dropped in
You're
one
literally
area.
not selling that. You're literally making everybody playing this game idiots right now.
I dropped in one area that was
It's
like
not meant to be a big map.
I dropped in one area that was like a field of grass
Okay.
and like a pirate ship and stuff.
Was there a baseball field?
I
Was it
didn't
Kevin
see baseball
Costner
field.
going?
I died
"If you
like
build
right
it,
at
they
the.
will come."
I died at like right at the fucking pirate ship.
Lame.
And then I dropped into another area that looks like Route 66 from Overwatch. Like it's just desert, kind of like diners and shit around. So like that already puts it more interesting than me because
Sure.
PUBG is one like their maps look the same the
Well,
entire map.
but that's what I
like there are
mean, like-
different biomes on the.
But that's what I
Fortnite
mean.
map,
Like
and that's pretty
imagine
cool.
if Fortnite had different maps. Like
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fucking cool. I think if Epic can find a way to evolve the battle royale mode or the battle royale gameplay, which unfortunately I think Activision is already doing it first with Call of Duty Black Ops 4
or
I
EA
think,
with Battlefield.
Yeah, or EA with Battlefield. But I really think Black Ops 4, their battle royale mode, is the evolution of battle royale games.
how is it the
Because there's
evolution?
classes.
Okay.
And you kind of have a specific role, especially in a team based type of battle royale, which to me already sounds more interesting than just, oh, I randomly got this really good gun, so I'm the best on the team right now. You have classes, and I think that I think we talked.
It just sounds like Battlefield though, because like that's how I remember Battlefield was like.
Sure, but
You would have your classes, but like
sure, but
so
those are
picture, like,
those
one,
are
like
just
one
on
death.
those are just on small multiplayer maps.
Yeah,
We're talking about on maps as big as PUBG. I don't know how big the Call of Duty 4 map is, but it
We'd have to assume it has to be pretty big.
yeah,
right?
from the graphic they showed and kind of like when they zoomed out, like it looks pretty fucking huge.
I remember it was a pretty good size.
Yeah,
There was a comparison between.
And I think Call of
maps.
Duty, I think Activision has done a good job at evolving it by adding classes because that's something you don't see in PUBG or Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it plays out. I don't know, but I think that's a good step in the right direction for an evolution of a battle royale. Fortnite doesn't seem like they're doing that. Fortnite doesn't seem like they're trying to evolve the
I feel like
battle royale
Fortnite's
game.
going to end up being like the Heroes of the Storm.
Sure,
to
yeah,
MOBAs.
maybe, yeah.
It's like you have all these other games that are out there that have like these complicated
But it's just the
systems and that are
best.
hardcore.
Sure.
Well, not necessarily the best, but the more accessible.
Okay, good call. Yeah,
It's like this is
fine.
anyone can play this. Like anyone
Sure.
can play Heroes of the Storm.
Sure.
Not anyone can play Dota or League of Legends.
Sure. Yeah. I'm like I said, when I use the word die, I literally don't mean like Fortnite's going to be gone. By 2020, I do think people will still be playing the shit out of Fortnite. It's just it's not going to be ninjas making 600,000 grand a year or $600,000 a year playing Fortnite anymore.
I will
It's just
say
not
that
gonna
like
happen.
after playing it just on my phone, I actually had a moment where I was like, I might download this on PS4
Don't do
and
it,
play it
Trey.
on there.
Don't be a sheep. You're a sheep.
It's okay.
But
Try it if you want to. Just try it.
Well, I did understand. I did
No, you
understand.
know what? Go play Destiny and just get mad at the world.
I
And then
did-
complain about it for a day, and then say you're not going to play it, and then someone invites you to play it, and then you get back on and play.
I did understand after playing two matches. I played 2 matches. I did understand after playing 2 matches why people liked it. There is something about that art style that like just makes it look
Sure,
fun.
yeah.
Like it. The best way that I have to describe it is it almost has like a Pixar-y feel to it.
Yeah, like that's so no joke. I feel the same way. And sorry for bringing up WoW again, but I love what I fly around WoW and I just look around. It's like, man, this is such a cool world because it does have that Pixar feel to it. There was another game that had a very Pixar feel to it, and I can't remember the name of it, but I loved it. Give me a minute and I will remember it.
Do you remember what the
Going.
game like? What
That's
you did
what I'm
in the
trying to
game?
remember.
Is
But
it a Pixar game?
But it had like that unique art style. It has a lot of fucking personality, like way more personality than PUBG does. Which
WildStar PC MMO.
Yeah,
Very
WildStar had
very
that,
Pixar
yeah.
feel, and that world was so cool to explore in because it had that super neat like
it
looked like Fortnite,
kind of like cartoony, but also
Yeah.
like kind of borderline
yeah,
serious.
super cool world.
But yeah, Fortnite. I get why people like it. The one thing that I didn't like about it, and the reason why I kind of stopped playing it, is that as far as I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong because I would love for this to be I would love to be wrong about this, but as far as I know, there's not any actual character customization. Like you
I
can
don't think
get
there is.
skins and put skins on, but I can't make my character look the way I
no.
want him to look and then put clothing.
Isn't
on
it
him.
random every time too? Like
If
every
you-
time unless you're wearing a skin, every single time you load in, you could get a guy or a girl. It doesn't matter.
Correct. Yeah,
that's
what-
really
it's
that's
called
what-
it's a no skin.
Yeah,
Which-
that's kind of annoying to me.
Which I didn't know before playing the game, and I was like, man, this is actually a little disappointing because I love this art style.
Sure.
I would love to be able to customize my own guy and like have him look exactly the way I want to look, and then put shit.
because
on
you can
top
do
of
that
him.
in PUBG, right?
It's very very limited.
But you can still, but it's still when you
It's
you
not-
customize a character and that character stays with you throughout your entire PUBG career.
On a
Correct.
scale of
Yeah,
Destiny
but
to
it's-
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
where
Okay.
does
Yeah.
it-
On a scale of Destiny to Dark Souls, where we at? Lower than Destiny because Destiny had 4 faces.
I'm sorry,
it's-
it has
it's-
8 faces, Chris.
Do they really?
No, I think it's like 6.
Oh, okay.
It's
I was like,
that.
I missed
it
2.
is it is
Okay.
literally like there's like a
That's fine.
like 3 hairstyles,
But it's
3 faces.
but like but I'm gonna make up a word. Psychologically speaking, that's not. I didn't make up that
No.
word. Psychologically speaking, it really is like it's very appealing to a lot of people. Like, oh, this is my.
I
guy.
100% probably would have. No, 100% probably. I would have downloaded it on PS4 and started playing it if I
If
could
you could do
customize
it,
my
yeah,
character.
yeah.
If I could make my little Brendan Urie looking guy and have him go out and like kick ass, well, not really because I kind of suck at that game. But if I could like just customize my character and play him, I would definitely have given that game
He's
more of a
not
shot.
kidding. In Grand Theft Auto Online, he literally looks like a mix between Trey and Brendan Urie.
Yeah.
That's literally what his GTA character looks like.
And
it's weird.
That's what I go for. That's what my Dragon Age character looked like.
Was it? I don't think I've ever seen your Dragon Age character.
He looked kind of like the guy in the box on the box cover.
He had a helmet on. I don't know what he looks like.
well, there you go.
There's
think I've ever
in the
seen
trailer,
him.
like in the trailers, you see him with he
okay.
kind of looks like a more buff and taller Brendan
Okay,
Urie.
I don't think I've ever seen him.
if you want Trey's Fortnite business, add
So
customization.
Sure, yeah.
seriously, well, and it sounds like it's a feature they're going to add, and when
Yeah.
they do add it, I will probably give the game another shot.
Yeah.
But for me, it was really disappointing. Where I was like, I can't choose what I look like. Like,
Yeah.
I love this art style. Why can't I just make myself however I want to look? On Dragon Age, though, remember
How
when that
shiny
game
the
first
hair
launched?
was?
No, remember when the game first
crazy.
launched? We had played it, like we had picked it up, we played it the next day, and you were like, man, my character's lips are like so shiny,
Yeah.
and it's really
That's
annoying.
what
And I was like, Chris,
Yeah.
there's a lip gloss
Yeah, there's
option.
a lip gloss option
And it's
that
like
I
on-
never fucking saw.
and it's on by default.
Yeah.
And I remember I caught it because it was like, why is his lips so shiny? I went through like every menu, and it's just on by default for every character. whether
Justin,
you
I
choose male
probably
or female.
I probably put 20 hours into this game before Trey told me about this. I had to start over.
Yeah.
My dude, like my lips were like we're talking like full on. I'm
Like
going to the
lip
club
gloss.
night glossy.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lip gloss option. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like that was dumb.
All right, guys.
Thanks, BioWare. You ruined my Dragon Age experience for 20 hours.
You guys like what we do? Please rate. Who's asking for a lip gloss option in a character creator?
Seriously,
Like,
but
who was
on-
like, we need to put
by
this in because the
default.
fans really want
yeah,
it.
but that's the thing is like I sort of understand the makeup option because if you want to make a girl, like if a guy wants to make a girl, it's weird, and you want to make it pretty, it's even weirder. But if a girl wants to make a girl character and she wants to get as close as she can, maybe with the way she makes, I get it. I get the lip gloss thing, but why on a I mean,
but I don't get it. but
Guys,
I still don't get it
guys
either.
wear lip gloss.
I'm sorry. Like I am a dude, and maybe I don't understand like how girls think about their characters. But if I was a chick and I still had my brain in me, I wouldn't be like, oh, my Inquisitor who's going out to slaughter fucking dragons and that's gonna put on some lip gloss before she goes to battle.
That's where initially I was going before I really sidetracked the fuck out of myself. Is that this is a fantasy setting where you're slaying dragons and you're
Yeah.
wearing armor and
Now
you have
let me put on my fucking blush
nobody's-
before I go cut this dragon's head off.
Who's gonna wear who's gonna exfoliate their skin before they go do this?
Gotta look good and kick ass.
I just don't. I mean, sure, the option should be there, but lip gloss. Who asks for lip gloss in video games?
Please rate.
Especially on by default.
I know.
That's the part that gets me. That's a little weird.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Store, YouTube if that's where you like to watch your shit or listen to your shit. You can follow the show on Twitter at Twinstick Radio or on Facebook at facebook.com/Twinstick
I
Radio.
listen to my shit every time I poop. I like to put my ear down to the toilet and just listen, see if it makes a noise.
You're like, Dad,
doesn't
don't
doesn't
flush
make,
me.
It doesn't make any noises.
We are
Thank
all
God.
on Twitter as well. I'm at Darth Trey. Chris is at Short Change Hero with the 3 instead of the E in Hero. Justin is at Justin T. Lopez. The show is produced, as always, by Everett Jordan. Give him a follow on Twitter at the56, with a TH at the end. And the show is edited by Connor. Give him a follow on Twitter at Connor13, one in Connor, 13 spelled out. And hire him to do shit at Downstream Studios, downstreamstudios.com. We do porn foley, dinosaur noises, vegetable noises, whatever you want. We can do it.
Poop noises.
That's the official slogan on the website, by the way.
Hey, Justin, give me one of your flautas.
No.
Just do it.
You ate so much food and you can't share a flauta.
You had 3 enchiladas, rice, and beans, and you can't give me a flauta?
What's a breen?
and 2 or 3 sopapillas with honey? You can't give me a fucking flauta?
Nope.
He's about to give you cake and you can't give him a flauta.
I brought cake!
Touche.
Bye, guys. See you next week.